Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. It is WrestleMania time, and the special guest I was hoping for, we weren't able to get with them because Berto with Bleacher Report had a issue where they are doing a mock draft, and it almost like if I read everything, everybody was late to it. So they are into day two. So that's what they are doing is a mock draft of the draft. And look, not mad, totally understand. You gotta do what you gotta do, pay the bills. So me and Ladarius are still here. We got you, and we are going to be ready to preview WrestleMania, the road to Mania. So, with that being said, Ladarius, how are you doing? How excited are you about WrestleMania, man?
It's going to be quite the card. It's like I said, it's very exciting. I think we might get a surprise or two.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about when we get there. But listen, WrestleMania season is always exciting. I think the goal is, I guess the absolute max is WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
And probably like the bottom we're trying to avoid like maybe WrestleMania 33. So
or WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, I like take your pick. Take your pick. I didn't want to say WrestleMania 9, but I was just trying to stay as recency as recent as possible. But like, listen, hopefully it just, like I say, it just delivers and things like that. So
totally understand it, and that is how I'm looking at it. Is let's just get to where we are excited about Mania. I know. Let's talk about it. This has been a subject of discussion for a lot of the fans, and like I said, if you're just reaching, we will be talking WrestleMania. We're going to have we've got day 1, day 2, and I know there's a couple of matches maybe not shown on here. We'll discuss them. Ladarius, I'm pretty confident you've got the match card also.
Uh-huh.
Or, I was trying to get it, but I didn't have it in a form where I could actually pull it up.
Yeah.
So I was struggling with that. But, okay, let's talk about it, man. When was the first time you got into WrestleMania? Like, what got you into wrestling? What was your favorite WrestleMania moment? What got you hooked on it? You see what I'm saying? So, and John Brooks wants to join or just drop in saying, "What's up, fellas? I hope we get some Mania surprises. That would be cool if that happens." With you there, John. And Mania surprises are usually the item of the day. But what about you, man? What are you thinking?
Well, for me, there's a lot to go from. To me, like I say, the Undertaker is my goat.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I had to say anything, but to answer your question, I think when you go back and like the rest, the Undertaker streak. I'm not talking like early on when he was fighting dudes. To me, that's always been the most impressive thing me growing up, and that it not only made me a fan of WrestleMania, but it goes to show you how much the company would feature a guy for almost 3 decades. For 3 decades in one in their biggest show, and that to me, like my favorite match, and it was properly voted the best match. Listen, Taker and Michaels.
Oh,
that if you want to talk about like I didn't know Undertaker could jump over a top rope like that until I was like, wait a minute, this. And if you know his background, you're like, he's very athletic.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, but we've never seen Taker like jump like it's all about WrestleMania, and that's what kind of made me fall in love even before that. But like to me, if I had to put like one of my favorite moments, it's got to be Seth Rollins cashing at WrestleMania 31.
Man,
because what made it so great is that he came just charging down the ramp, and that was before Triple H. Now, listen, I don't know if Seth would do that in in today's WWE with the way Hunter has the ramps going. We need longer ramps, and it's got it looking like you're running the Boston, like you're running the marathon or something. But
Triple H has a fetish about a ramp. Let's just
he does.
we will discuss
folks,
that later.
Go watch it started back at when he took over with SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Couple like that's when it started, and people are like, oh, maybe it's the one time, and then literally they go back to the PLE and Backlash in Puerto Rico. Literally, like basically, listen, we all have our hobbies and fetishes. Triple H and Ramps, like, listen, if you do a cash in, today, like, good luck trying to run that. Like, bless your stamina, bless your. You got to do cardio. Like, you got to do cardio the night before or the week of WrestleMania just to make sure if you're going to do a cash in. But
God, you are not lying.
but that didn't take him too much time. But to me, I think that's a moment. You go back to Daniel Bryan winning it with the yes move. You can go back to Kofi winning it. Like, there's so many. What I love about WrestleMania is it's the showcase of the immortals.
Mm-hmm.
It features stars, but future stars. And I think when you look at this card, you see the stars. You see the top billing, and you see future stars. And it's like today, like, I don't know, I'll just plug my stuff if I know I forget. I came out today, I previewed the 4 matches featuring the women on the card, and the one that's is missing is the tag team match. I don't see it on here. That's the first is the Bailey.
And I think that's going to be in day 2 also, if I'm not
mistaken.
So
that's day 2 as well. Yes. So I previewed that in the 2 matches for NXT Stand Deliver, but like, that's what makes this so great. Is that it's stars and you're seeing the future stars, and like I see, like John said, like your HBK Taker. Like, I can't talk about how great that match is. Yeah. And if you talk to a true, like, a wrestling fan, it may not be their number 1 WrestleMania match, but I guarantee you, like, to me, 2 matches is probably in everybody's top 10 or top 5 or whatever. It's Austin and Brett, I believe, at WrestleMania 13. I believe it's WrestleMania 13, which is getting inducted, and the Taker and HBK match.
And
it's like you don't have to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to say real quick. Some people might have an issue with it, but I got to go here. Of all the WrestleMania matches you could do to put into the Hall of Fame, that is actually one of the best matches to do. It really is. Please go ahead.
It had everything you loved.
Yeah.
And I think if we're going to keep doing the induction, listen, HBK, and I don't know if Hunter's probably too busy. I think that match, I believe it was WrestleMania, was it 25 or 26? Because it was 2. I don't know which one to put, but I think
the first time Hunter and Triple H went against each other was, I want to say, WrestleMania 19.
Yes.
And I want to say WrestleMania 26 was the one with the Ain't No Man Can Put Me Down with the grave. That was excellent. I was there. And then the one in Miami was, oh my God, the classic, the Hell in a Cell. I mean, go ahead though.
No. I'm sorry. I hate to cut you off. What's up, A1? Like, it's like when you create you can do a Mount Rushmore of just WrestleMania. You have to put Taker and HBK up there.
Yeah.
Whoever else you want to put, some guy, I'm gonna, we'll just say Luck Logan. If you want to put him on there, cool. If you want, whatever.
Don't work for us, brother. It can work for you.
Yeah. So, who sells a beverage that you could buy in a? Never mind. I'm not gonna say.
Let's just put it this way: you rather buy it, but you don't want it thrown at you.
Right. It's like, if you want to throw something, we got to start questioning what's in the beer. Like, like, I'm just saying, it shouldn't, like, listen, we've had things hit in our head from time to time.
Yeah.
Like a beer can, like, it's not supposed to hurt like that. It's not made of steel.
Yeah,
but,
you're not supposed
but when it's Hogan, when it's Logan beer, yes.
Yeah.
And like A1 says, like, it's one of the few matches where you wish both could win. Yes. It's one of those that like I said, I love talking about WrestleMania. Every time I talk about not just the women's matches, which I do, but just when you look at the card, you just go, man, like you, it's hard to put together a card, and now for 2 nights,
Yeah.
and that's a kudos to Triple H. That's a kudos to it. It's we're not. Nope. We're not. Nope, John. We're not saying his name. I'm not saying his name, brother.
No,
Nope.
we don't say his name. No,
That doesn't work.
This is not Joe Henry. He won't appear, but we're definitely not going to appear.
The last time he appeared, Jimmy Hart almost spoiled himself. So we're not gonna.
We gotta get out of here, Daddy.
We gotta get out, Daddy. Oh man, you really blew it up there. Are you serious, me? You serious, me, Terry? What the hell was that? They don't like you, baby.
I really believe Hogan, if he could have pulled it off, could have told Jimmy, "You got a lot of heat out there, brother. I don't know if you could come out there with me."
Man, and that's why I would have took that. I would have took that flag off that pole and just beat him with the pole. Don't disgrace the flag. Just take that flag off the pole and just start beating.
Exactly. All right, real quick. I want to make something real clear. All right. I saw the thing with Roman Reigns about the president of the United States.
Oh yeah, look, I had some thoughts on that, but if you want me to say it, I'll talk. But if not,
I mean, if you want to, I just was going to say, look, I don't want to wish cancer on somebody. Let's just not do that. That's all I ask. You see what I'm saying? Because I was seeing comments, people saying, "Well, I hope you get your cancer back." I'm like, what kind of idiot are you?
No,
but go ahead, please. I'll let you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take away from you. If you have more to say, I apologize. I didn't want
to. No. I actually want to hear what you have to say because me personally, when it comes to politics with areas, you know me. Yeah. It's not that I don't want to talk about. It's just I rather keep it where we talk what we know.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the politics, I just look at it like Roman just did what any of us did. We voted. Now, did we vote the one person or the other? It's not a reflection of who these people are. You know, now some people, we know. Yeah. But I'm just saying. But to wish cancer on a guy, come on, when he fought that thing too. But go ahead. Please.
No, it's like this. Somebody put it best on social media, and I followed up. Listen, don't get upset when your favorite wrestler doesn't share your political beliefs. Don't be shocked. Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised. And then I said, listen, I can't stress that enough. Yeah. And I'm gonna use my guy, The Undertaker. You know, the president of the United States appeared on his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, listen, I have my thoughts on the president, but we have to forget that these wrestlers are people too. We have to separate the character from the person. And that's hard for some people. Just like when people found out, oh, Kane's a big, folks, it was upsetting, but look, it's not going to control. It should not control your, how can I phrase it? It should not control how you feel about that wrestler. Because listen, I still love The Undertaker. I may not necessarily agree with having the president on the podcast, but we have to separate it. And sometimes it makes life so much easier if we can create this separation between the wrestler and the person. Just like separate Mark Calloway from The Undertaker. Separate Glenn Jacobs from Kane.
Yeah.
You could love Kane, but you may think Glenn Jacobs is cheeks. You could think that.
Yeah, and you could do that.
And it's like with Roman Reigns, look, he said he was a registered Democrat, and he said, listen, I understand why people are angry and upset, but here's the problem. And I always say this, and I try to the level of positivity. I simply say this. We don't always have to agree on everything, but the last thing we should be doing is that this man beat leukemia.
Yeah.
And yes, did the president, in the funding? Yes, he did. But everybody, listen, you're going to work yourself up because, listen, You're gonna work yourself up because listen, your favorite wrestler, I guarantee you, your favorite wrestler, your favorite athlete may not share the same opinions you do. It's like there was an uproar years ago with Tom Brady when they saw the manga had in his locker room, and all of us. And then at the time, I was writing for Sports Geek, and it was a big thing, then. And one of the things that people had to understand is that hey, they kind of knew each other. We never, they golfed together, whatever. But it was a big deal because a lot of people didn't like. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. They didn't like Trump. So people's like, oh, well, Tom Brady, I hope you lose. Listen, I'm gonna say this one more time, and then I'll throw it back to you because I want to take up because we got to cover this little big card.
Yeah,
we have to understand your favorite athlete, your favorite wrestler, and their political views would not be yours because let's face the facts. Sometimes they grew up much more differently than you, and they share different political ideologies than you. And in order to I'm not saying you have to accept it. All I'm saying is when you look at with Roman Reigns, yes, he came out. Yeah, he said he's a Democrat, and he said, well, he voted for Trump. Whatever. You have to separate Joe Inoue from Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put them as the same person, you're gonna disappoint. And the stuff I've seen on Twitter, it's disappointing. Like the man how are you gonna wish this man overcame leukemia?
Yeah.
Okay. And just because you support somebody you don't like, I listen, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
No matter how much I may disagree with the person politically or any other aspect. So, folks, if you're listening, understand it's okay that your favorite athlete or wrestler doesn't share your views because more than likely you both grew up in different parts of the world and we all have open minds and opinions. Like I'm not sitting there saying you have to like it. All I'm saying is that it's like this. It's like a quote. I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend the right for you to say it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
And that's I'm not running for office. Maybe. We'll see how this show goes. But we'll see.
I mean, dude, if you do, I'll back you up no matter what.
If this show's going great, I might have to step down and run for office. I don't know.
I
gotta get a suit. Betty, I just wear like a blazer and just wave it.
Hey, I know a guy. His name is Tony D'Angelo. He could probably hook us up.
Don't you dare bring up get a
we gotta talk about it too.
Get a crowbar and a 3-piece suit.
See, we gotta
spend $200, get a free crowbar.
We gotta get some laughter here. But no, seriously.
Comes with the hat? What about the hat? No, you gotta pay for the hat.
Well said. Because as a fan, it's like this. Your football player, your favorite football player, your favorite anyone will not be exactly like you.
Yeah, don't be shocked. Yeah, I tell people, why are we shocked that, like, listen, it's not going to change it shouldn't change how you feel about Roman Reigns because he says he supports Trump. No, separate Joe Inoue from Roman Reigns. That's all. It's wrestling. Like, my God, if that was the case, here's the problem with people.
Yeah.
People take things too personally. When you worship something, like a deity, we worship a person, like a human being, like a deity. This is what happens. You get the outrage. How dare they not share what I feel? You're not like.
It doesn't.
Listen, I tell people, hey, go worship somebody else. But listen, I'm not trying to preach here. I don't see a collection plate, but you see the point. So it's like folks. I'm not saying it's a non-issue. I tell people this. You have a platform, like how we have a platform, and I may share some here and there, and I totally understand why my buddy here does it. I don't think of him any less of a human being because how we use our platform, we do it in essence. We do it for the same reasons. We elevate. We talk about sports. We talk about stuff. We talk about wrestling. We mock wrestling. But sometimes we're human beings, and we may have opinions other people may agree on. But I'm not going to stop being your friend.
Yeah.
Unless over. Listen, especially listen. Stop worshiping people. Like when you see celebrities, oh, they don't like this. Yeah, because they're not you. What do you think? They like. There's a good chance they may not share your views. I'm like, why are you surprised? Like, folks, you're setting yourselves up. You sometimes we set ourselves up for the downfall.
Yeah.
Like, so people think, oh, all these things happening. No, when you walk in thinking that, oh, why don't they agree with me? And I buy all their things. That's you and your money. All right. Hey, instead of investing in T-bond, investing in stocks, you invested in a memorabilia. Hey, that's you. That's you.
I bought more John Cena shirts, but that doesn't mean me and John Cena go around hanging out together. John Bon Jovi's my favorite singer. Okay, Bon Jovi's one of my favorite bands, but that doesn't mean we're in it like thieves and thieves. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
my thing is this: understand, we are live and we're here, and when and of all the things to say about cancer, all I gotta say is this: you need to check yourself.
Right.
If you don't have a family member that fought that mess, shut your hole. I don't want to hear from you. All right. And I get it, but I really have no respect for someone that brings that up. I mean, I
Yeah.
really don't. And that's what I wanted to say about that. It's like, come on, have some respect. I get it. It's wrestling in the long hand, and we shouldn't be looking at Roman Reigns to give us guidance on our country. We need to look at Roman Reigns and thank what he's done, because look what he's been able to do for us and the
Mhm.
memories. Believe it or not, the man is done. This is going to be his 10th, 11th WrestleMania, any way you want to
Yeah.
count it.
He's gonna main event. I believe it's gonna be his. He's surpassing that guy who makes that nasty ass beer. That's what
Yeah. We're not talking. Hey, we don't speak of that name. We will not
Hey,
say that name. But
I
we
just
will
said
say
nasty ass beer. I could be talking about Michelob. You don't know what I'm talking about.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, and by the way, if we had a Joe Henry moment, man, you will not hear me complain. That's all I got to say. Isaac Yankum. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get into it because, like I said, we got to talk about, of all things, the thing that really needs to say. Have you ever seen Texas Americano next to Omos? I haven't. I think they're the same people, but that's just me.
Is there enough fabric for that? That's the question.
That would be hilarious.
Like,
What happened to you? I got tan. Oh,
like a reverse tan? Because how? But you're. You know what? I'm going to
you
catering.
just walk away. You don't want to
I'm going to
ask.
catering. I'm not. I got tickets to go. I'm seeing the show. I don't need.
So okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about it, and we kind of did it already with our WrestleMania moment. One of my favorite WrestleMania moments has to be, and I've been watching WrestleMania a long time, but here's what I wanted to bring up. My favorite WrestleMania moment has to involve watching Shawn Michaels and seeing Shawn, Undertaker, and then the two matches with Triple H and Undertaker. Those were so good. And then C-Dub, it's Grande Americano from the Gulf of America. You know what it should be? It should be the Gulf of Americano. If you're going to make the jokes, you got to make them full throttle. That's the way I say. Oh, and by the way, so John Brooks, or David Roca, Rosca. I hope I said it right. I apologize. Saw the thing about Triple H. I don't know where he got the King of Kings from, and I know the Hulk did the Hulkster, but the Bulk did the Bulkster. But look,
John Brooks, our dictator, let you know. Nicolas, yes, I believe. Yeah, he's French. He's a French dictator. Y'all remember? I know history was one of my strong suits.
oh, good.
Yeah, I don't like to flash everything on the show because
No, I understand, man.
it's all about the art of surprise. So
You know how they say international man of mystery? That's where sometimes we have to be, So I just wanted to bring that up. But I am excited about Mania this year. It's like, let's talk about this before we get into our breakdowns here. The build was not the best. I think we all can say that. All right. I don't, I know a lot of people want to, crucify Triple H and everything. But what say you when it comes to this build? I mean, how are you dialed in for this?
Ugh, listen, the best way to put it, some didn't need the build, some was built in.
Mm-hmm.
A couple needed some work, and it figured out toward the end, and some just it's just there to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, not every match is going to get the same amount of build. But if there's a story, there's something of substance there, you can roll with it and rock with it. But like overall, it's like the matches. If the match is great, then you'll forget about the build. So
Yeah.
as long as the match is decent and it's great, we forget about the build. But some of these matches, the build was great. There was like one or two, like it was great from kind of start to finish. A couple, it took picked up pace toward the end, and there was some that was great, went off the rails, but still okay, and some that just it didn't have a build really. So, but it was like a semi build. So yeah, so there's that is what I'll say. There's that. So there's that.
No, and look, it is that way. I mean, that's why I asked the question, and we talked about it a lot. The Like for some matches, you didn't have to worry too much about the build. We'll talk about each match when we get there, but I feel like there was such a stop go feel to a lot of this. Makes me wonder how much of the card did they really know, you know?
Yeah.
And let's see here. So I'm hyped for Mania. I'm hyped for Mania. Hell, I'm hyped for Tiffany and the Charbot. Believe it or not, I'm not even. No, I'm not a fan of Charbot, but I think that match will be a banger. To quote Sheamus, look, if that bell rings and we get a good match, I will not be mad. But if that match stinks, we're gonna have a nice chat about that. But we'll deal with it then. Um, I'm gonna look through the rose-colored glasses on that one and just say, okay, John, I'll give you that because deep down I want to just lose my mind on that because I'm not. That's the one match I'm actually dreading. It's like you know how some people go, yeah, go break a leg, and then you got one guy doing the following. What do we tell them? Don't screw this up.
Don't blow it.
Yeah. Let's talk about NXT. Because they've been rolled into this. We know about the WWE ID program. They're going to have some stuff in these other shows out and about, but they are going to have their show at 1 o'clock on Saturday. So let's talk about that card. I don't have that card, or I don't have the full card, but I know the matches. I don't know order wise, but the countdown show, normally you don't watch it because, just wait till all you do is recapping. But there's going to be a fatal 4-way elimination match, they said? Did they
Yeah,
call it
tag
elimination?
team. Yeah.
Yeah. So Core J and Roxanne are going to be opponents in this thing. Or not opponents, but a tag team. And I get it, John, but I got to go here. I kind of want to see Roxanne and Core win. Just because that would mean I wonder if they're going to pull the trigger on one of the matches at WrestleMania, which we'll talk about later. But you got Lash Legend, Jakara. You got, um, Ladarius' favorite crew, Fatal Influence, and of course the Meta Girls. But what do you think about this match? Who are you leaning towards? What are you thinking?
Wow. When I look at the card, and so you got Roxanne, I look at like teams that are kind of already chemistry. So I look at the Meta, I look at Lash Legend, look at Jakara Jackson. I look at Roxanne and I look at Cora, and I kind of look at those two and like Fallon Henley, JC Jane. They're a team, they're a faction. Like the wild card here is Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxton. That's the real wild card to me.
Yeah.
And if with the number one I can see a situation where I don't know if we're picking winners or not, but well, I guess I will. We're already there.
Yeah, we're going to start picking. So yeah, go ahead.
Like if I had to say right now, I'd say given that I look at a team who hasn't competed for the titles, or it would make sense. I can kind of see if I'm gonna go off the wall here. I'm gonna say, it's tough. My gut is telling me, like, I think Henley and Jane could win it.
Mm-hmm.
But my mind is saying, if you want to be safe, go Roxanne, Cora, or Lash or Jakara. So I'm gonna say Fallon and JC. I'm gonna go off the wall because I do want to see Cora and Roxanne versus Bayley. To see, that could be the first. That could be the way how we get Bayley and Roxanne, get that feud going again because they had something and it kind of broke off.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go Fallon and JC because it's different. Because, like, respectfully, we've seen Jakara and Lash have multiple women's tag team title shots.
Yeah. And
it's no disrespect to them. I think they're a great team. But to me, I can see Roxanne and Cora or Fallon or JC winning it.
Okay. Oh man. I thought about this match a lot actually, and which is crazy because you see how it actually came about, but like I said, I like Cora and Roxanne together. I think they make a very good team. I think Roxanne is very, very. I mean, she's ready. She is right there. But yeah, I'm not mad about her being on the pre-show. At least we're getting her on the show. That's the way I see it.
Right.
But yeah, I would like to see. I want to see them win, but I really would like to see Tatum and Gigi win too.
Yeah,
that's my issue. That's like you with the Fatal Influence. Me is Gigi and Tatum.
Yeah, because it's different. Like like respectfully, we've seen the chase with the Meta Girl, with Jakara, and we've seen Roxanne and Cora literally win the tag team belt, win tag team gold.
Exactly.
Down when they had the NXT tag team championship. But it would be something different. So that's why I say you look at one side of the card, it's like basically something that's different versus familiarity. So it depends what you really want. And see, Jonathan, I have an awesome name for the tech core. You call them Jade Rocks. That sounds like a drug. It's like a drug in the 80s.
I overdosed on J Rocks last night. What?
Oh man. Oh,
you need to get that checked.
Oh, I had some J Rocks. We wouldn't even call it Jade Rocks. I had some J Rocks. Like what?
Oh my god. All right. What's
in it? You don't want to know, man.
All right. So from a tag team match you want to see to a tag team match.
No. Listen. Okay, fine. We have to discuss it.
We got to talk. It's like this. We got to talk about it. It's not that I want to talk about it.
I understand. We're trying to be professional, but all right. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Yeah. All right.
Fraxium versus Hank and Tank. Dear God, don't do this to me. Fraxium's been the best tag team. I don't want them losing it to those two idiots. That's my pick. I'm picking Hank and Tank, or I'm picking Fraxium. Who you got?
Listen. Listen. If Fraxium blows this, blow up the team. Like, just break up the team. basically pull a Simon and Garfunkel. Just go your own separate ways. Go make music. Go do other things. It's like, listen, Hank and Tank, they won a gauntlet with the teams that beat their cheeks, and somehow in a gauntlet they beat them. Like, oh my god, no, you folks, you got to see my face. No. This is the problem. Okay, I'm wearing my Chelsea green shirt here.
Yes,
Shout out to Chelsea.
Chelsea.
You know, a true president, a champion of the United States. So listen, you're gonna tell me, and listen, I'm not trying to disrespect. People say, "Oh, you're throwing shade at Hank and Tank." Well, if that's the way you take it, that's the way you take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand. Like, oh, they took L's to. Oh my god, they took L's to everybody in that gauntlet. Like, and I'm looking around like where's Adris Nofu and the other? Like, what we're missing? Like that's all the tag teams in NXT. You could have called up Swipe Right, or you could have put somebody else in this. Now, if they would have beat Swipe Right, I would not be upset, CDouble. I'm like, okay, that's a different team. That's a different team. But literally every team that they faced in that gauntlet beat them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, oh my God, they're great. And listen, simply put, if Fraxium loses, listen, I don't listen. I'm done. If Fraxium doesn't, if Hank and Tank walk away as NXT, listen, that title reign better not last more than 2 weeks.
I don't even want to think of what.
Listen, you better listen. You better bring back get the Hardy Boys back in here. Get the Dudley Boys back. I don't care who you got to do. I don't care who. If they hold the belts,
Dark State better take the belts. That's all I got to say.
Sean, you're a 2-time Hall of Famer. What are we doing here?
Did they owe you money? Do you owe money?
Like, who are you sweet chin musicking for this to happen? Because who are you giving the sweet chin to? Because this is ridiculous. Yeah, you know what, John? I hope so. But listen,
that brownie done?
I swear, if Hank and listen, we got enough issues in this country, and you put that voodoo on us. Listen, that's a reason to go to Canada right there. Them win the tag belts. Forget, the president. Yeah, he's not great. But Hank and Tank winning? No. Listen, I'm getting the passport and I'm getting out of here. I'm not, no. I may have to watch, PLEs through Netflix and internationally, but it's worth the risk. I'll do it. Ridiculous.
I mean, I can't argue. You said it so beautifully. I mean, you really did.
Who could take win? God. I thought it was a drug-free company. I guess I was wrong.
When the fact, hold on. Oh man, I will tell you what we are doing here.
all I gotta say is, damn it, Bobby. That's all I gotta say.
Damn it, Bobby.
You know what I'm gonna say? I am not down with that. I'm gonna tell you like that. My Hank Hill voice. I am not down. This is like gas beating. It's like saying gas is better than propane. That's how Hank Hill. Listen, that's what this is. This is propane versus gas. Listen, this is propane. Listen, do it the old fashioned. No, propane is great, but listen, not with Hank Hill and Bobby. No, I'm done. I'm losing words. This is ridiculous.
No. There's, like I said, there's no need to. We don't. That's why I wanted to just head it off the first, and another one we just need to just take it out right now. So there's this match that's going to happen because of a result of an NXT parking lot brawl.
Oh God, no.
And it's a 6-man tag match with the D'Angelo family.
Oh my God.
Because Settling it in the parking lot wasn't the thing. We're going to the big stage.
Listen, where did Antonio get the negotiating skills from? So, like, oh yeah, like Jesus. Basically, in 2K25, they did the backstage brawl. That's it. That's it. That's how you settle feuds. Like, if you play 2K25, like, listen, rival. This is how you settle it. You throw guys through drywall. You hit people with crowbars. Apparently, you can drive. I guess the crowbar was driving the car all the way to the parking lot, and we're fighting in suits. And by the way, who are those older guys? Those guys look very.
Thank you.
Like those guys, look they belong on the dock. Listen, I live in Florida. Like they work on the docks at Cape Canaveral somewhere. All right, like they work on the docks. Like like the Bon Jovi say, Johnny work on the docks. Those guys were working on the docks. Like, and all of a sudden, hey, the family needs you. So they hop a boat. So all of a sudden they get on an airplane from Jersey and fly over to Florida. And to look like that looks like the Brooklyn Brawler and like the Brooklyn Brawler stand-ins. They look like jobbers. And wait a minute, here's the thing. How many members of Dark State was it? 4?
Yeah.
So basically it was Luca, Stacks, and those 2 guys? What the hell did those other 2 guys do? So basically, it was basically 4-on-2. But those 2 old guys weren't taking them bumps. Like, you're going to give a prepaid Visa debit card here? Go there like that. Get a gift certificate to Best Buy? Like, go there and take care of these guys? It did now what they got with Tony D'Angelo. But I kind of still feel so he's great negotiating. So basically, it says 3 members of Dark State will compete, and they've not been announced. Get a 4th guy. What the hell are we get a 4th? You're telling me you can't get a 4th person? Like
he knows everybody, but he doesn't know enough to.
What the hell is Shante Diodonis doing instead of falling around? Carmen Petrovic. There's people in the locker room. Like Andre Chase ain't doing nothing. He's down on his luck. Get him out there and do something. Get him a crowbar. Like, come on. Like, you're telling me 3 of members of Dark State? No, get a 4th guy. Like, why should you? Because this match is going to end up being 4-on-3 anyway. Like, I cannot believe. Get a 4. You tell me there's no 4th person that can come out and help? Because hope it's none of those the Brooklyn Brawler knockoffs. Because get a 4th guy. What is Andre Chase doing? Like, bring back Duke Hudson for this match only. Do something. Like, oh my God.
Matt Cardona's working somewhere. He could probably show up.
Like, get Matt Cardona. Somebody's available. Like, listen, money shouldn't be an option here. And when you literally read like 3 members of get a 4th person. It's like there's a BOGO and you just don't get the other one when it's free. That's the equivalent. Oh, I just needed one jar of peanut butter. Buddy, it's buy one, you get the other one for free. Like, common sense. If there's 4 members of Dark State and there's 3 of you guys, get a 4th guy. We've seen this happen before. Literally, in that tag match we talked about. What did Ava tell Roxanne? Get a partner. Because guess what? Roxanne wasn't going to tag team by herself. And Cora Jade showed up. So my point is, there should be a 4th person. What you can do 8. Like, God. Why should 3 of the 4? Oh my God! We're not playing pickup basketball where there's like, oh, we have 9 guys, we have 9 players, so one. No, you can sit one out. It can be 4-on-4. You need listen, and guess what? Even when that was the case, there's somebody playing basketball on the other end of the hoop. Hey, you want to play with us? That's happened to me, literally. It's happened. I'm just playing ball, or a bunch of guys. We're playing basketball, and we need like another player. We can find one. If we can find another basketball player, you can find another wrestler. Okay,
you want in?
That's it. They don't have to get. Listen. You put what is Robert Stone doing? Get him in there. Dark State beat his ass. He should want some revenge. Get in there. Like,
you know what I loved about this? Didn't it give you the vibe of when you watched Star Trek and you saw the two guys with the red shirts on? You already knew they were gone.
Right. That's like, yeah. How you know they're cooked? I just know. Just assume that I know.
Ah!
Why? Look at what everybody else is wearing. Look what they're wearing. Like, look. Like, it's like, how do you know? Like, something should be common sense. You could do 4-on-4. Listen, Robert Stone makes this because they beat the bejesus out of Robert Stone weeks ago. He's used to wrestle. Listen, since Von Wagner was released, what is he doing? Instead of wearing looking like Tony D'Angelo, basically, with a 3-piece suit, get some gear on. And I love Robert Stone. I love the work he's doing at Evolve. I love the work he's doing. But the D'Angelo family, you're able to find 2 guys to go in a parking lot, but you can't find 1 guy for this match? What kind of family is this? Like, the Corleones didn't have it all together. But listen, how many Godfather movies were made? Exactly. like it was past, so something was right. Jesus. Oh, 3 members have to fight. No, get a 4th person. If I can find a 4th person playing pickup basketball, you can find a 4th person in that company. Ridiculous.
I got tears.
3 members will fight. So now they got a rock, paper, scissors. Who's going to sit out?
And if you haven't noticed, folks, Ladarius here loves NXT.
No, it's stupid. Like 3 members. I'm like, what are we doing? It's like, so you're telling me, so there's a fight.
Hold
Listen,
on.
this is not.
Hold on. You're forgetting the best part. Is they're looking at Rizzo going, get out of here.
Why was she there? Why was she there? I like Rizzo, but you knew that there was no female members of the Dark State. So, how did D'Angelo know? Folks, she had a phone. Like, oh my God. I've seen the Mystery Gate. Listen, Scooby-Doo, I've solved mysteries quicker than that. Like, how did Tony know? So who do you think she was talking to? Like, how you think those 2? She probably called and got those guys there from Jersey. Listen, she's the only one I saw with the phone. Was there a mysterious 4th person in the car making the call? Did Tony? Oh my God!
By the way, Dark State at least is more put together than the Death Riders are, because you got Wheeler Useless, you got John Moxley, you got Cesaro, you had Pac, who only wore his wrestling gear. And everything.
It's like this: Rough Riders. Listen, I prefer the Rough Riders. Rough Riders. What is it? Dark. Whatever Moxley and them call themselves. What do they call themselves again? What?
Death Riders.
Death Riders. Rough Riders. Death Riders. Dark State and the family. Because, 3 of the 4. There were 4 guys in the parking lot. You can't get 1 more guy. You guys, the odds were even in that parking lot. Like, listen, I don't know who was negotiating. Like, listen, when Stacks turns on D'Angelo, I'm not going to be upset. Good. Good. Because, Stacks had it right. Take it to them. No, we're going to fight in the ring. And then, oh, by the way, hey, Tony, did you negotiate a 4th guy? You couldn't find a 4th person? You made the deal.
That was a good idea to ask that question.
This deal is worse than the deal. Listen. But look at the deal. Look at Seward's Folly. Look how we got Alaska. That is that bad of a deal. That deal to get Alaska looking pretty good right now. Looking pretty good. How do we get Alaska? I don't know, because the guy really negotiated. No idea. Fast forward 200 years later, we're in the same situation. We got a guy who negotiated this match, knowing there were 4 members of Dark State. He knew. I'm assuming Tony was a smart guy. He knew there was 4. He said, "Oh, it's because of the family." And then, so basically, you're screwing over the dark state because you can count. The count on Sesame Street can count. Listen, this
He's gonna bring the crowbars, the tag team player number 4.
My goodness, listen, is the crow? Listen, let's put the crowbar over. Yeah, listen, I love Stacks. I love the family. Don't get me wrong, but maybe I'm over. But you negotiated, and then 3 of them got to fight, so they got to rock paper scissors because you can't count. No, get a 4th guy. No, it's listen, if you're playing pickup, like I said, pickup basketball, 3-on-3, and there's 7 guys. The one guy could sit out, or if there's someone else playing ball, you ask them first if they want to play. Then you got 4-on-4. This is, you know what? Listen, I don't care who wins. You know who really, we're all going to be the losers in this. No one's going to win this. No, there's no winners in this.
Storytelling.
There's no win. Listen, you know what? I usually don't root for the heel, but listen. Dark State, listen, if you can't win this and you have an extra 4th player, what is wrong with you?
They might
listen, don't pull a 28-3. You have 4 players. You have 4 wrestlers. I'm hurt. Then they have a guy to come in. Listen, Christofino gets out, you're screwed. You're screwed. Jesus, what kind of, can you add someone to the family? You know what? This, listen, just move on. I know listen. I promise.
I got tears. So please know. Look, I think Dark State will win, obviously, but
I swear, if they lose this, 4 guys. By the way, Tony D'Angelo negotiated this match.
Yes, he did.
He must be. Listen. Go look up about how we acquired Alaska, and there's a reason why they call it Seward's Folly. Go read why, because it's gonna be D'Angelo's folly because he can't count, and the man's smart. In any other vignettes, I see multiple people, and you can't get one of them. You could listen. You could have called Nunzio, for God's sakes.
Oh, I would have. That would have been great. We saw.
There's too much. You could have you could have used the statue of Rocky Balboa. You could have did something. You could have got a 4th person for this. You could have got Puff the Magic Dragon. You could have got Drago. You could have got you needed a 4th person. So how was it even in the parking lot, and now we're just disconjointed in this match? 3 members will compete. No, if I'm Dark State, no, screw that. Find a 4th guy. That's it. And if, like I said, Robert Stone should be the 4th guy because they beat the crap out of him. He should have a right to have a take back.
Amen.
I'm done. Between this math and Hank and Tank, I'm not saying drug testing should be a little bit deeper. I'm just saying it's like I negotiated a deal. What, bro? Remind me never to put you involved in my contract. I'll be working for peanuts. Yeah, I told them you work for free for the first 6 months. What? This job is not commission based. What are you doing?
Okay. Woo. Gotta get my.
Some kid in college is making more money than me because you can't negotiate. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what's bugging Ladarius, folks.
This is stupid. This is 3 members have to fight of the 4. No, get a 4th guy. Come on. Because when I play 2K, listen, if I can't do handicap matches on 2K, listen, if I can't do handicap matches, why I gotta watch it in real life?
Okay, so what's so funny about all this is that the way you're saying all this, I'm watching, I'm going, okay, surely they're going to show us Don's going to say, don't worry, I got us a 4th partner.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
But this guy saying, I negotiated a deal.
I got a partner. Don't worry.
You know what?
He doesn't say that!
You know what, CDouble? That's what I lost it. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't hear. Because you have 4 guys. You got Cristofito, you got Stacks,
Yeah.
and basically these 2 guys, working by the fish, 2 fishermen. You got the Brooklyn Brawler and I think of another.
The Fred shirt guys who just hold on. In one part, I saw one guy get punched, and he's just like,
Right.
look, he's asleep.
Like, what did they fight? What territory did they fighting? Because those guys, I haven't seen them guys ever get. Wait, they fought in the territories. There's no way they fought WWE. No way. They fought what up in the Northeast territory? Like, you got them from Jersey? Like, what? Yeah, I used to fight in high school. Yeah, we can tell, pal. We can tell.
Hold on. How do you know when you've lied on your resume? This is how.
Right. Oh yeah, I know how to fight. And then you show up dressed like you should be, like the guy on the Gordon's fisherman bag. That's not good. Aren't you the guy that sells fish sticks? No, I'm a wrestler. No, seriously, what do you do?
Are you serious?
Jesus. I hope the Dark State wins. Because listen, Tony, listen, there's TNA. You could have got somebody from there. You could have got, you could have got Joe Hendrick.
No, I got one for you. Because he's not with them, but you could have made a call and do Hammerstone.
Anybody.
You could have done a really cool.
You could have called Tyrone. You could have called anybody.
Yeah.
You could have called anybody.
You could have called Omos.
Yeah, why is he late? Listen, we're not going to get into that. It's like, why should Dark State have to be subjected to sitting out a player when they could have added, when you can add somebody? Like, when you have a team, cool. You shouldn't have to sit one out. Like, listen, it's not like with DX, that's different because there's a tag team situation. But if it was like 4-4, it should have been all members of DX. Oh, we need to one guy got to sit out. No, get up. You know what? Just go to the next match. Because Tony D, listen.
All right,
listen, Tony D, you're great. You're great, but I don't know what the hell you're thinking.
Hold on. Take a breath, because let's talk at least about this, because I'm actually looking forward to this match. North American title, or it could be called the Tony Fumble Bowl, because it's going to be Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks, or Ricky Stanks, for the North American title. Look, Ricky's going to do something. His presentation, I cannot wait. He's going to find a way to stand out. I just believe it. I cannot wait. I try not to have my expectations high, but my God, guys, I can't wait. What do you think about this match? And I'm going to go ahead and say Ricky's going to win in my mind. But what do you
think? It's just simple. Ricky Stark. Listen. Ricky. What's it? Ricky Saints. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Ricky Saint. He shares the birthday with me. He's going to retain. Period. That's all that counts.
That's right, Tribal Chief.
Because if he doesn't, listen, it's bad enough. It's going to be a great match. A match that Tony Khan should watch very closely. But it's so, how do you build stars in matches? Bam.
Yeah.
But it should be a great match. I think Ricky Saints retains.
Yeah. I'm going to say, Saints going to win. But, man, what I like the idea, Ego, Ethan Page in the ring with him. Love his work. I think he doesn't get enough credit for his heel work. And I think he's done a hell of a job with everything going on. So let's talk about a match that I'm looking quite forward to. The women's North American title. Man, this is awesome. Because Stephanie McMahon won the double championship and basically, hey, I'm going to put this belt down. We're going to pay it forward. So here's what we're going to do. We've got 6 women. Zahara, Sol Ruka, Kalani Jordan. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. Izzy Dane, Lola Vice, and of course Thea Hale. Oh my God! I'm real quick. That made me so happy to see her. I am so glad she's in this thing. I really am. She just, oh, she actually gets it with the storytelling. She's just really cool, and I just love her to death. Um, but what do you think about this match? What do you got? I would say pick a winner and then pick like a dark horse or someone that you think will stand out in the match if you like. You're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, that was Tony D'Angelo. I was talking like, man, you negotiate better. I'm like sitting on a calculator. Now,
You could have helped him
well,
actually.
yeah, I feel like it probably been worse. He probably wanted a crowbar, but the
You know what this needs? More crowbar. Like what the hell?
so and I wrote about, like I mentioned earlier, I wrote about this beyond women's sports. I wrote about all the women's matches across Santa Deliver. What I wrote about, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you have Kalani Jordan, who actually won the inaugural North American through by a ladder match. So she won this in the same way. So I would think she would have an edge. But let me tell you, I look at the card, like I said, because I didn't put any winner predictions in the article.
Okay.
Because I just like to talk about matches because I knew we were going to talk about it here, so I didn't want to cancel each other out. I got to tell you, I'm torn between two people here. I'm torn between Lola Vice and Thea Hale. A part of me feels like I said, Lola Vice was so close to the NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah.
Remember, she had the contract.
Yeah.
And then what happened. I feel that she should be the favorite in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, Kalani and her feel like, top. But I'm telling you right now, a dark horse is Thea Hale. Because there's a reason why she left and she came back and they repackaged her. And when I see stuff like that, especially at NXT,
Mm-hmm.
or when you see it across, when any company does it, I look at it and go, like, look how young she was when she came into the. And then more importantly, like, she has the personality.
Yeah.
She has there's a reason why she beat Carmen Petrovich to get that spot.
Oh yeah.
And Carmen Petrovich is no joke in the ring. So if you ask me, a part of me is I'm going to say Lola Vice, but I think Thea Hale is a definite dark horse, and I think either one could win it. To me, it's either Lola or Thea. I think for Izzy and Zaharia, because Soul's the speed women's champion, as John mentioned.
Yeah.
And Kalani, I don't know. I think we'll see. And hi, Gary.
Hey, Carrie. Guess so.
So yeah, so I would lean toward either Lola or Thea in this match.
Man, this you're right. It's like, when they brought her back and it was repackaged, it was under Chase U. It's like you kind of felt that momentum shift, and it's just good to see her. And like I said, of the women, when in her losses, she made you believe she could actually pull off the opportunity to, win these matches. And she was good. She should have won a couple maybe. But I mean, I think she's going to be the dark horse for sure. But all I'm going to say is this: not because I'm saying, oh, she doesn't have a chance. No, she has a chance. I think she does. Now, the person I've been looking at, and it's not Zaharia, and I thought it was going to be Solruka, but now my attention's taken not to Lola Vice, but it's got to be Kalani or Izzy. I think one of them might be, you know, I want to see if this attitude change from Kalani actually pays off. But I also think Izzy is primed to be a heel woman. to at least make some impact. But that's just my idea. And then let's see, I'm gonna go into Hale. Because she needs the momentum, and I think Hale could be. Yeah, she'll definitely be a great underdog champion. She really would. Sorry if you're already late. No, I'm late. It's all good. Don't worry. You've only missed the greatest rant ever.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go there because Ladarius got triggered, so we're not going to go there.
No, listen, I can go at it again. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, you want to talk about pages of notes? I got pages of notes, pal.
He makes off the blanks look good on the notes here.
Hey, Arthur, that's how you do notes. Listen, passive aggressive, then aggressive passive. That's how you do it.
Dude, I still can't get over that shit. That they did that. He's like, I got us anyway. I don't want to go because it's just annoying.
Listen, if
I'm
you're
just
Dark
watching,
State,
I'm going,
if you're Dark State and you're watching, you should demand them to get a fourth person.
Yeah.
Why
exactly.
should you have to listen? 4 of you guys came together, and listen, for a family, there's only 3 of you guys. That's not good. I'm just saying. Listen, like when you go to Carrabba's, they say you hear your family. I'd rather go to Carrabba's. I feel more because listen, they say when I'm there, I feel like family. The Angelo family doesn't feel like a family because you'd have a 4th person and a 4th. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all good.
I'm gonna drink my Dr. Pepper. Yeah, and I'll be fine.
All right. So I want to make sure. So far we've gotten the 6-man tag, which we've already said should be an 8-man. The tag title match we're not gonna. But we talked Ricky and Ethan. We've talked the ladder match. There means that we got 2 more left. Do you want the men's or the women's first?
You know, as Vanessa Williams says, save the best for last. I want to do the men's because I think the women's is absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah. Okay. So men's triple threat match. And look, if this is the main event, I'm not mad. You have the NXT championship being defended by Oba Femi, who is amazing, versus Trick Williams versus Evans. God, I know I just had his name, but for some reason it's skipped my head. Javon Evans. And I'm looking forward to this match. I'm gonna play the safe road, and I'm gonna just say Oba retains. Would it surprise me if there's going to be a title change? It would not. But I want to see what they do because I'm very intrigued on what's going to happen with these guys because I think one of these for sure is coming up to the main roster. But that's just me. Like, what you got, Ladarius?
You know, this we kind of touched on yesterday. Listen, you could, like I mentioned, you can go 2 different routes here. You can go safe, have Oba retain or put the belt back on Trick, but you can do something really, really special and put the belt on Javon. Now, that being said, a part of me feels I would not be shocked. And in fact, I'll go all in, not the AW stuff, but it's got to be Javon. I'm going with Javon because if they go the direction I think post WrestleMania, as they do with the call-ups and all of that jazz, Oba's ready. We could argue about Trick. Trick's been on the main roster. You know, he competed on the main roster, I believe. I believe it was for SmackDown, I believe. But Oba's ready. Oba has held both the North American and, you know, now the question is who's going to be left for Oba?
Yeah.
I always ask the question before you do the call-ups. Like, you could do something with Javon and Trick, and it would be spectacular. I would say put the belt on Javon. And it may, listen, I feel like you got to do something because Oba retaining is great, but then who's next? Because I guarantee you, are you going to have Oba put him in a program with Javon? because that's the only other way if he retains. Because you can't put him on. John, you could, but you could do Ricky Saints, but I think that's further down the road. I think that if Oba does retain, I think Ricky would have to lose the North American belt. Because it's not that I have a problem with two champions going in a program, but it would just feel better if Ricky Saints was chasing the belt, because it wouldn't feel the same now that he already has the belt, if that makes any sense. So I would say, you could put that in the back pocket. I think there's options, but if you go with Javon Evans, and like I said, how old is he? Like, they what, 19, 20 years old?
Yeah, about 20, I heard.
So why not? Because in fact, I think, because I'm gonna look it up and see how old Javon Evans is, because I don't want to. He's 20. In fact, he'll be 21 later this month, in a couple of weeks. You could put the belt on him at 20 years old, and it would make a statement. And somewhere down the road, and listen, I'm not saying Ricky Saints doesn't. I think you could say Ricky Saints Ricky Saints versus Oba or Trick, or any the winner of this match would make sense. But the question is, would you have him chase it while being the North American champion? That's the question. And because I agree that Ricky should be pushed to the absolute moon. But the question becomes, do you do it with him still as the North American champion? Against, like I said, I like Javon, but I like CDouble. I can see Oba retaining, and you could do a program there. You really can't go wrong, because the next person up would kind of feel like Ricky Saints. It would. But I want to have Ricky, let him have a run with the North American belt, the North American title. And then by the end of this year, who's to say that he won't be competing for the NXT championship? So, like I say, I like John's on, like Ricky Saints versus Oba would be great.
Yeah.
But I just want to have Ricky have a little run with the North American title, and then go for the NXT championship. I wouldn't mind it, but it's about timing and pacing. We can't put all the eggs in the basket. So just something to consider.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm gonna go here. I think, like I said, I think Oba retains.
No, John, no.
Oh no.
What?
No.
Does he know the number of guys in the family? Didn't we already have Tony versus Oba for the North American title run or something? A feud? Or do we really want Tony competing? Yeah. Listen, how is he going to negotiate that? Like, look how he negotiated this. Like, you knew Dark State had 4 guys, and like CDouble said, you could have said, "Oh, by the way, I got a 4th guy."
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was waiting for. And then when he was just, I made the match. I'm like, this guy didn't even. You think them two? You think those 2 grumpy old men? One of them guys is gonna be your 4th guy? Jesus, you think the Brooklyn Brawler or the Man at the Sea or Gordon Fisherman's gonna be the? You can put it as the 4th guy. I'm done. You see, John. I see what you did. You tried. You did a good job. You wrote me back into it. All
right, I'm gonna try to get you out. Let's talk about the women fatal 4-way. Man, what a lineup in this match. Jada Parker, Julia, Jordan Grace, Stephanie Beckor. Let's pick it. Who's gonna walk out with that title? And look, if this is the main event, I'm not mad either. This is phenomenal.
Oh, you let me go first? Or?
Yeah. I was.
Oh no, I was like, wait, he never lets me go first, and I don't. Oh God, you know what, folks? We'll be right back. I gotta compose myself. Use a Yiddish word. I feel verklempt.
Didn't mean to throw you off there.
Listen, you couldn't do no more than what Tony D'Angelo did with math. Like, hey, I got a, God, you know what? Okay, Darius, focus in. Oh, listen, this match.
I really, if I was the general, there was no way I would be able to keep a straight face if I heard him say that.
It's like,
Because I'd probably be doing this stuff. You know, there's more than three, right?
it's like you know there's four, right? And there's three of us. Yeah, what's your point? Are you serious right now? Are you, buddy? So if we're playing pickup basketball, we lose not because we suck, because we don't have a fourth guy to throw the ball to. They're just gonna double team one of us. They're gonna find out which one of us sucks, and they're gonna leave us open. They're gonna double team the best player on the team. That's why you need.
Why are we getting killed out at this, Tony?
Like it's like you're playing the NBA back in the 50s, where like, yeah, we're just gonna have a bunch of guys running around here and just shoot the ball through a peach basket until they realize, like, wait a minute, like, wait, what? Anyway, I'm done. I don't listen. Apologize to Dr. Jane Naismith. You should have used listen. Peach basket was fine. I'm just saying you could have used a tire. You know, same. You could just cut up, made half a tire, squeezed it in, and that could have been your hoop. But you know, listen, and put some metal underneath. You know what? Forget it. Forget it. We're getting off track. Now, as for this match, oh, it's Joe Hendry and Masha. Oh, hey, Masha, how you doing? Hey, sorry, focus. I gotta focus. I gotta focus.
Yeah, I kind of need you.
Anyway, thanks, Joe Hendry. Thank you. When I look at this match, if you guys didn't get a chance to, if you can go back and watch when the four women they were telling their stories and like their respective vignettes, like all of them made a case to be champion. And the two that stuck out the most, well, all four of them stuck out, was when you look at Jada Parker. Now, Jada talked about Port St. Lucie. Now, I'm a mile away. I'm about an hour away from, or so, before I away from Port. Now, listen, I'm not going to comment the mean streets. Listen, all I'm going to tell you is something that she said in that promo. She said, it's not about the pressure you get when pipes burst. It's the pressure that makes diamonds. Mm-hmm. If you look at this match, Jada Parker's the only one that was developed homegrown in NXT. She's the only one out of these four women. It hits differently.
Oh yeah.
For Jordan Grace coming in, and they talk about her success from TNA and wrestling. They talked about her journey, how she developed who she was. When you look at Julia, and like listen, and like John, like she never lost the belt.
Yeah.
But, and you look at Stephanie Vacquer, like, you know, her winning that belt means a lot. I can't stop looking at Masha. Okay, I gotta focus. All right, sorry.
Need you to focus, brother.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I lean toward, and I wrote this in the article.
Yeah.
It's like I talked about Jada Parker.
Mm-hmm.
It feels different.
Yeah.
With Jada. It's like this. You put the belt on Jada Parker. And I understand, like, Julia never lost it and all of that jazz. But my thing is, for Jada Parker, her being the NXT Women's Champion, you're making a statement. And I'll tell people this. Let's just say, go look at the history of NXT Women's Champions, and you'll see my point on what it would mean to have someone like Jada Parker win it. Jada Parker showed from why. Like, you saw, like, that's going to be a champion.
Yeah.
When you watch her. Like, that's going to be a future champion. And make the future now. This PLE for NXT, you could see, like we always talk about, the shift in you could see a shift in the champions. Mm-hmm. And how it makes and changing the landscape. Having Jada Parker beat the likes of Jordan Grace, Stephanie Vacquer, and Julia, That's a statement. That's a statement not just for Jada Parker, but that's a statement for NXT.
Yeah.
Like developing the talent. And to me, that's who I'm going to go with. Because I was convinced after her promo of the vignette with that line where she talked about not being made, not talking about the pressure that bursts pipes, but the pressure that makes diamond, that creates diamonds. Mm-hmm. Like that hit differently. There's no disrespect to Jordan Grace, Stephanie Vaquero, or Julia.
No.
But Jada Parker has the confidence of a champion. She fights like a champion. She she everything that you define as a champion, she has it. Yeah. So I'm rocking with Jada Parker.
I like Jada. I mean, the promo, the story, everything, it hit, and there is nothing wrong with that. She did everything she's supposed to in that promo. All right. I know the story with Jordan Grace. I am a proud fan of hers too. Love Stephanie. I respect Julia. I think this match is just going to be freaking phenomenal. I would have no problem if young Bianca. Yeah, she does remind me a little bit of a young Bianca when Bianca first got there. Yeah, that's a good one, John. But look, if Jada Parker wins, I would not be mad. I'm gonna say, because see, I'm also wondering. See, Stand and Deliver is so interesting because part of it you wonder how many of these folks are getting called up. You see what I'm saying? And
yeah,
what happens then? So me personally, it's not that I'm picking Jada because I don't think she could be, to win it. I think she should win it. But she's gonna be the future. She's gonna be someone that could carry the company. And look, she is a representative. First of all, to be in this match, she needs to be. People need to put some respect on her because she's earned this. She's the only one that's made and bred from NXT. So guess what? That means they were doing something right, and she was doing something right. So big ups to her. Big matches. I just look forward to seeing what she does. I think the one thing I can say, she's not going to shy away from it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That she's not going to shy away from all this. Roxanne's gonna gone after this Trick. Will probably be gone. I don't know about Trick. I don't know about Trick. I think he's. I don't know if he's ready. I hate to say that, but for some reason I'm just not. I'm more. I can understand Oba going than I would Trick, but hey, anything's possible. But yeah, that's what I think about NXT. I think the show's going to be awesome. So please make sure you check it out. It's going to be 1:00 on the Peacock. I know me and Darius, we're talking. We'll probably be talking and watching at the same time. So be ready. Sure. I can't wait.
So remember, folks, NXT Stand Deliver 1:00 on the cock. So,
yeah, 1:00 on the cock. Yes, and it'll be straight hard on it. All right. So let's talk about the Hall of Fame ceremony.
See what you did there? Man, that was. Bro, you put that Greg Maddox change up like what the? It's like
throw it out there.
Looks like it's gonna dip and it just doesn't move. It doesn't move. Like,
I got to go here. It's so good that we both love Greg Maddox because we both understand from Chicago and from the Braves the impact.
The thing is, if Greg Maddox did this show, he would have been halfway on night 2. But with us, they get the long version of Greg Maddox. No, listen, he was like 6 innings, 7 innings.
Oh shoot!
He told Bobby Cox, "Listen, man, I gotta go." And like,
hey, you better on offense.
Listen, you better have
get out of here.
You better have Lightningberg ready to close this out. I'm out of here.
There were times he's looking, going, "I'll go 9 innings. I ain't cared." Man, he would lose his mind.
I gotta get out of here. Stuff. I got me and Tom got a reservation at the steakhouse. We gotta wrap it up.
Oh man, he was awesome. I loved it, especially how quick he goes. All right, well, the Hall of Fame. You know about Lex Luger. You know about the natural disasters, tugboat or typhoon, and what was it? Earthquake. I'm trying to remember. We have.
Did they ever say who was going to induct them or?
I never saw it. Now I'm hoping it'll be Jimmy Hart, but if not, Cody can do it because.
This is better. I'm glad to be here, folks. I feel safe.
That would be great. First ever, we're gonna have CM Punk inducting Stone Cold and Bret Hart for their match at WrestleMania 13. We talked a little bit about it. That's one. And so, when you think of the Hall of Fame, what do you think about these guys? Are there specific memories you kind of go to that always will landmark yourself with these guys, or what is it? What do you think?
Listen, naturally I go toward being someone who's right about women's wrestling. I talk about,
Yeah.
I love wrestling in general, but like people who have the nerve to say that the only reason why Michelle McCool is being inducted because of her husband, folks, let me tell you something. In my LA night, let me talk to you. When you look at Michelle McCool's career, and you look at that Divas era, or you look at that era of wrestling, you do realize multiple time champion, her and Lay Cool. That's why if there was a tag team that I wish would be around, now it would be Lay Cool. For the women. Oh my god, if they had the women's tag belts back then, my goodness, like you could have done a lot. Yeah, you could have had the Bella Twins, you could have had Beth Phoenix and Natalia. You could have had you could have done so much. And then I see John say he's going to review it on the channel. Well, John, let me know your channel and follow. Yeah, definitely give it a watch.
So we can pump you up, man.
Yeah, and says Sting should be. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I understand, but anyway. But I'm sorry, I mean to get sidetracked. Well, Monster Slammers can sidetrack me any day. But the point is, thumbs up, and we're back. And for people to say that Michelle McCool doesn't deserve to be inducted, that means you haven't been watching wrestling.
Yeah.
Because like people mentioned, this is the time of year when people with their quote unquote hot takes, try to get the engagement farming and try to put something out there that even they believe is not true.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell me that if you're a true wrestling fan that Michelle McCool doesn't deserve, because here's the thing. Look who's in the Hall of Fame from that era. And tell me, and the only one that was missing was one of the people who were missing was Lay Cool. Especially Michelle McCool and what she did in the thing, first of the Divas Championship, being a women's champion. She was one of the best wrestlers of her era. Just tell me you didn't watch that era without telling me you didn't watch that era. Because she fought in the era where we were still having those women's types of matches. The names of the matches, folks. They were still having those matches, but yet she and countless others in that era proved that women can get it done.
Yeah.
And the fact by the way, this was well before she even met the Undertaker. Like, let's be clear. Like, she didn't get in just because her husband happens to be the Undertaker. And I wrote, in fact, I hate to keep talking about myself. But I wrote a piece about a couple years ago about why Michelle McCool, and if I find it, I'll share it again. I think I shared it once before, but I made the case for Michelle McCool to be inducted years ago. When you look at the era, and you look at the people who respectfully, Stacy Keibler's in the Hall of Fame, and I'm not here to knock Stacy Keibler and her account, because Stacy Keibler, she made her mark. A lot of women from that era getting in, and for her not to get in, listen, I love. And then as for, Brett and Austin, that match, that match deserved to be in there because it's just those two brought out the absolute best in one another.
Yeah.
And what made it great that the tension was they knew how to work and they knew how to put on a great match. And so when you kind of get all of that working together, good things happen. So at the end of the day, like I'm glad. I'm glad for Earthquake. I'm glad for those guys. I'm glad for Lex Luger, who should have been in a while ago. Uh it's a great class. Like Triple H didn't want to put himself in, and I deep. It's like you already thought he was, but you forget he was a part of DX.
Yeah.
We thought he already had a solo induction, but long overdue. This class is great. Like there's always the ones who feel left out. Like I say, I got the Michelle McCool agenda down. I think that my article played a role in it. It's just I know it didn't. I just like to joke about it. But listen, go ahead. I thought you were going to say something.
No, I was just be proud of that, man.
And listen, and if we're on the subject, listen, I'll write one about China too and Cyndi Lauper. Like, here's the thing: Drew Carey's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And what did he do? And then listen, isn't Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame too? Like, listen,
yeah.
God rest his soul. But this man took how many tombstones from Kane? Like, bro, like in a tux? Like, come on. It's what like if you're getting tombstone in, some biker shorts, that's one thing. But in a tux, like all dressed up and nowhere to go. Yeah, you went somewhere. But
the San Diego chicken suit too. Don't forget about that one.
Yeah, listen, I didn't want to bring it up, but that's because it's hilarious. It's like he's the chicken, and I'm like, Pete, come on, my guy, go back to the suit. But all in all, I think it's a great class.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if you're really dedicated, you got to stay up to 1 a.m. to watch it.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm gonna watch it probably Sunday. That's probably what I'm gonna do is watch it. Because I want to be able to enjoy WrestleMania weekend. And look, Friday night SmackDown, that's gonna be one thing. But man, I'll watch the Hall of Fame. Will I be up past it? I probably will. But the thing is, I want to watch the Hall of Fame and not be like, oh, could these guys get over with
it? And your two favorite people are hosting it, so there you go.
I want to be able to fast forward those fuckers, okay? Yeah, I've dropped the F-bomb.
And we're going to be yeeting to our next Hall of Famer, Earthquake. What?
Swear to God, one of the Hall of Famers needs, Dory Funk Jr., I'm begging you, smack Stan Hansen. Put your glasses on and smack Pat McAfee.
Boy, I think you need to grab a seat. What?
Smack! Looking at Gunther. Why haven't you smacked this bitch? Gunther,
I haven't seen a Larry that good in about 20 years. Yeah. And so I agree with China and shout out to Sport PSP for that question he talked about the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And follow his stuff as well. It's great as well.
Yeah. So yeah, China should be in the Hall of Fame. I agree.
Don't treat China.
When it comes to the Hall of Fame, we don't know. Sting probably may be there.
Yeah.
But they won't televise him.
Yeah.
But as long as he's there and him and Luger have a moment, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
All right. Luger needs to have a moment. That's all I ask. Just, from everything he's been through, a lot is doing. But I just also I hope people understand and appreciate the value of Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah.
And what this man has done for Luger and for many other wrestlers. This man's the reason why a lot of these guys did make it in the Hall of Fame and was able to even, speak a few words. And thank God Buff Bagwell's not in the Hall of Fame. Him and his shaved tank. But anyway, God, that's something I'll never forget on Dark Side of the Ring. And by the way, folks, gotta say it. This week, the Tony Atlas Dark Side of the Ring has debuted on Tuesday. It's on my DVD. I will be watching it, and I will be giving Ladarius play-by-play about it because I cannot wait to watch this. So, oh my God. I'm a little bummed though. Jim Cornette's not in this one as much as he was in the others. So Jim Cornette's hilarious, by the way. If you all don't know, you got to watch him in these things. He's just freaking hilarious. I'm looking forward to seeing, and also someone I want to say this. I wish John Tenta was alive to be inducted. It's going to be great to see Fred Ottman out there, Shockmaster. But it'll be bittersweet because if you watch the Dark Side of the Ring with John Tenta, that made me cry. That was a tearjerker. And it's nothing bad. It's just how much love that family had for him, and how his wife and him loved each other so much. And it's just, he just was doing a job. He was just doing, and just pushing, and never really took care of himself. And it's just one of those. So, did you hear that people are choosing DDP or taking advantage of people because of his name? Man, people are going to try to accuse anybody of anything. I say give DDP the benefit of the doubt. He's helping people, and that's all I can say. I don't know what all, he's helping people, and that's the way I see it. There's a special place for that man. So, all right. So, and look, Triple H, I can't wait for this Hall of Fame induction. I think Shawn Michaels doing it is the perfect person. There's going to be some laughs. There'll be some seriousness, but I just hope, just they enjoy it. Triple H needs to, when you have a situation where you had to get a defibrillator put in, you kind of have to reevaluate your life here. So I'm glad for Hunter that he's able to live his life and he's running wrestling. And look, like him, don't like him, you just got to respect what he's doing because he's definitely changed the face of wrestling right now. So now let's get to the card of WrestleMania. We're finally into it after an hour and a half deep. Greg Maddox is very upset with us because he wants us to get this done in less than 2 hours. Greg, I'm going to go ahead and break your heart. Not happening.
Nope. Blame D'Angelo. Boy.
Yeah. We're going to blame D'Angelo for this because we had an opportunity, but Tony D decided to throw a crowbar in the wrench. So, all right. Night one, as you see, it's already up here. Now look, we don't know about Randy Orton yet, so that's not on here, and neither was the women's tag team title match. But the women's tag team title match is on night 2. So let's discuss night 1. All right, what match do we think is going to lead off? I'm thinking it's Jay and Gunther. Start off with a bang, get the crowd yeeting, and have them in a good mood. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I think because it makes sense because I think they kicked off with the title match. They kicked off with the women's title match. I think at Philly with Rhea and Becky. So I think you kick off with the title match, and I think Jay and Gunther and Jay makes sense when you look at the way the card is shaped. I think, especially knowing what the main event's going to be with the triple threat. Yeah. So yeah, I think Jay and Gunther. Jay and Gunther, and then you bookend it with Roman, Seth, and Punk. So yeah.
All right, gotcha. What? All right, so we're looking at this match. We're looking at everything going down. So we got that now. Okay, hold on, because something did get messed up here. So Charlotte and Tiffany, I know it's going to be night 1 also. I think Ray and Texas Americano is going to be night 2 also. So we'll flip that in our heads because I can't undo this image. So this is the closest thing I got to a card. So I apologize. I thought this was all perfectly lined up, and I just saw that. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. But all right. So here we go. Let's see. We got there's rumor WWE could be either doing a Rusev versus Orton or we were talking about this on our show. I think kind of Ladarius said it best. I could see 2 ways you do it. You either get Solo Sikoa which, if you think about it, he carried WWE for a while too. This past year,
Mhm.
with the whole bloodline thing, and the feuding with Cody and everything. You could do him and Orton, and that wouldn't be a problem. I really don't think so. And then, but if you wanted, you could do like something like how it was done for Seth Rollins when Cody came in. But I don't think you want to debut someone to lose to Randy. That's my thing. But Ladarius, what do you think to that?
See, here's the thing. Here's first of all, I love the idea, John.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is going to be: Are they, I want them to come back with a win, especially at WrestleMania. If you're gonna bring these guys like that, it's kind of like I said when Cody made his return at WrestleMania. A couple of WrestleManias, ago against Seth Rollins. Like we all knew who the surprise was going to be.
Yeah.
But Cody was not taking the L. So if I look at Rusev versus Orton or Aleister Black versus Orton, if you do Rusev versus Orton or Aleister Black versus Orton, do we believe that Orton would lose to either two? Respectfully. Because in the same vein, I don't want them to come out and debut and then lose. Even though they, kind of I'll put it this way, reintroduce themselves. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them taking the L. So if you go solo, I would be fine with it because Solo could eat the L. It's fine. He loses WrestleMania. It's fine. But because Backlash is right around the corner after WrestleMania next month. So it would really depend what direction they have going with Orton moving forward. Because if they move Orton into the title picture post WrestleMania, I don't know. Like to me, it would Aleister or Rusev would have to win if you're going to bring him back.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that happening because you want to build Orton to be strong moving forward to Backlash to the next PLE next month. So,
and that is in St. Louis.
Yeah. So I'm not upset. I'm not upset at the idea, John. I think it's I think we're going to get a surprise.
Yeah.
But it depends how this goes and how Randy Orton does he transition to the title scene post WrestleMania. There's a couple of factors to kind of consider in that regard.
Oh yeah. So I think Randy Orton best. I think those are the best options for Randy, and I think that if I'm doing it, I would do it night one. Well, I mean, you probably get away with it doing night two also. So just depends. But just have some fun. I think having fun with it, and look, if anyone deserves to have a moment, it's Randy Orton. All right, and after the year he had, I'm just glad he's able to be a part of it. All right. Let's talk about it. Probably the man with the most style in the match. We got LA Knight versus the most stylish man in all the world, Mr. Jacob Fatu. Now look, I'm gonna be real honest. I want a title change. I want to see Jacob with the U.S. title. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I kind of feel like it's not. I feel like Solo will end up screwing this up. But what do you think? And who you got?
Listen, I own a Jacob Fatu shirt. When I saw that man wear that shirt, I felt like the person across the hall when you see somebody and it just catches your eye.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that's impressive. It's like, it's like when you're in love, like you spot the person you love.
I love it.
It's like in a crowd in a sea of people, you spot the one. And let me tell you something, America.
Is that how you feel when you see someone wearing a wrestling shirt and like you guys, it's like you already know?
Yeah. Yes. In fact, when I wear wrestling shirts,
yeah,
and people commenting on it, or if I see someone wearing, I'm like, we don't have to know each other. it's like the sisterhood of traveling pants.
Yes.
Okay, it's like when you see it, you're just like, hey, that's how I feel. When I saw that shirt, I was like, oh, and I was already looking like Jacob for months. Already, look at the short time it took for him to get. He's on WrestleMania
Yeah.
in a title match. And listen, if you're Solo Sikoa, look, you can feel how you feel, but it goes to show you that how far potential, charisma, and talent can take you. Jacob Fatu made it clear that you couldn't ignore this man.
Yeah.
Checking all of those boxes. It's like, how can you ignore this man? And listen, for the second time, I'm just gonna tell you like this. I want to see Fatu, and I swear, if Solo Sikoa, you better stay in the back. You better enjoy some of that complimentary, because I'm pretty sure catering's gonna be. It's Vegas. All right. Enjoy the finger sandwiches and the buffet. You stay out of this match as far as humanly possible. Stay away. You have no reason to be there. No.
If he does show up, he better be in the weekend outfit that he wears. Because homeboy.
Listen, and by the way, shout out to the Weekend. I don't know. He's got tapes on Hunter because this guy's who's doing the theme of WrestleMania? Oh, Playboy Cardi. With the Weekend. What? Because they're like, oh, it's Playboy Cardi.
WWE's go-to weekend, no matter what.
Right. It's like Saturday Night Live. Man, we need a host. You're getting Steve Martin. You're getting somebody you know.
Yeah.
They stay in the air. You're like, what about the Weekend? He doesn't upset people. That's our guy. That's our guy.
I have this visual. I have to get it out of my head before it's going to linger. I just have this visual of Triple H and the guys all together just doing the Charlie Brown dance as they're hearing the Weekend's music.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
I can't feel my friend. Yeah. Or find the clip of when Triple H was dancing to the New Day.
Oh, dude, I got scared because if you watch it, I thought that's where he had his heart attack.
Hey, we're having a good time, right?
Jacob, make sure you say, I love you to everyone.
I love you, Vegas.
Right. Let's talk about
some money.
Let's talk about the potential train wreck. The match that if you don't know how to open your hood, or the trunk to your car, do not ask these women. We are talking about the WWE Women's Championship, the Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte the Charbot Flair. Now downloading. All right, so here we go.
I got no comment.
The build to this match has only John Cena could say was ass.
I'm gonna tell you what I put in my article. I put it was something.
Yeah. you know how this is where I got to ask. When you're a wordsmith, when you're a journalist, when you're writing stuff, and you're coming up with things to write about, there's just sometimes you just can't put on paper. The fuck.
You can't. You really can't. You're absolutely right.
I mean,
it's like.
Right. This match should have been about the future versus the past. It should have been,
right.
The up-and-comer versus the established star who's making her comeback.
Yep.
But Cleveland screwed it all up.
Listen. Hey, Cleveland, they thought they were going to lose Myles Garrett. Okay, they were basically pushing your car in the streets. That's how angry they were. They were looking
the trunk or the hood of the car.
Like they would have got that trunk open. A key. 1, 2. Ooh.
So
hey, there's some guy back here.
All I know. Look, this. If you're trying to talk build, and you say this has not been the best build, and you point to this match, all I could tell you is we can't win them all.
Yes, that's definitely a way to look at it.
Because you look and you go, Ford and Dawkins looked so confused through this whole thing. Then you had our guy, and then, like I said, my thing was there someone in the back of the trunk? Because that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was definitely somebody back there.
Yeah. Because they all tried to...
Like, should we do something? Now let's see how this plays out.
So, look, this match, okay. Could it be a great match? Like WrestleMania 39 with Rhea and Flair? I would like to say yes. But I don't know.
Why won't you say yes?
Because the Charbot, we don't know, is going to do business. I don't know. Are they really putting that belt on her? I'm scared they are. I don't think they should. They really should. If anything, after this build, I would have to humiliate this one and be like, no, Tiffany's winning, and I'll look at the ref. Tiffany's going over. You try to let Charlotte win, I will come personally fire you and then eviscerate your family and have Tony D'Angelo come in with a crowbar. Do not tempt me.
You saw what this man did?
And no, he's not bringing just a couple of guys.
He's going to bring 3. There's 4 of you guys. He's bringing 3.
Tony's not the one you want to bring to strategize, I take it.
Hey, don't you know how many guys we got? Yeah, nope.
Look, Flair's whole thing has been based off her return. What she thinks, it's been based off her return, and it hasn't went well. She needs to do business. Let Tiffany win. You know what? It's not like Tiffany or Charlotte can't wrestle again, but this is one of those you just don't want to see this match. I don't think anyone's looking forward to this match. Are you?
You know, actually, listen, I'm gonna just say it like this.
Curiosity.
There's 2 different types of people.
Yeah.
There's people who, you see a wreck. I'm not talking like a car accident. I'm like, you see a situation, like you're in public, and you see like 2 people just going at it, and you're like, a part of you wants to leave, but you want to stay and watch.
Yes.
Like I'm not talking like no car wreck. I'm just seeing 2 people just like in a park, or in a Walmart or somewhere, and they're fighting in a Walmart parking lot over a cart or something. And it's like, man, I gotta get home. But you're like, oh man, I got time. It's like that's how I view this match. And what both situations have in common is that, look, we could sit there and say, oh man, this match is not gonna be. You're gonna watch, and you're gonna enjoy every single moment of it. Why? Because I'll tell you right now, whatever that thing was they did in the ring with the 0-3, like, man, she wasn't talking about Aaron Judge at the plate. You want to tell you that? When she was talking about 0-3, listen, she wasn't talking about Aaron Judge. She wasn't talking about Marcelo Zuna. She wasn't talking about Kyle Tucker. She wasn't talking about Mike Trout. She was talking about marriage. All right? She wasn't talking about your favorite baseball player.
Nope.
Not getting it done. She's
talking about Charlotte.
And it's like, and then Charlotte Flair, when the crowd started pulling the Apollo, she froze. And I'm like, oh no. It's like, oh man.
So her software paused.
No. What happened was, it's like, Jesus, John.
She was downloading her Windows too, and the soft drive.
First of all, listen, if you're rocking with Windows 98, we gotta have a conversation. Man, we didn't have how many presidents? And listen. We didn't have how many? Listen.
Look, we never said Ric Flair was the brilliant mind. We just said,
listen, we're talking like, I'm gonna put. Listen, if you're out here messing around with almost 30-year technology, we gotta have a conversation. Like, oh, hey, man, what are you doing, man? Oh, man, I'm playing this Oregon Trail. What are you doing? You know they updated that where you can play it without the floppy disk. You do realize. Like,
wait,
listen, die from dysentery eases the blow now because now it's on a bigger technology that kind of help that. But anyway, that whole thing, like people that, oh, that was bad. Yeah, it was bad. But let me tell you something. It was so fun to watch. And then here's what got me. Tiffany Stratton rolled out because, you read the reports, like she rolled out because, listen, it already, the minute with the crowd, people thought, oh, Tiffany caught, no. When Charlotte Flair froze, like when it was like she saw 100-mile-an-hour fastball, or she just saw a defensive come, like she saw a fastball and she couldn't get the bat off her shoulder, like she couldn't react. Okay, she's at the free throw line and forgot how to shoot a free throw. Like, that's how bad it was. That was the moment where it went off the rails. And then what Tiffany Stratton did, boom. And then like, oh, ask Kaiser. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, this is awful. And then
you have the popcorn. You going, this ain't good.
Right.
And listen, no, this is getting better.
Oh my God. And listen, and throughout all of that, it did not change that I wanted to watch this match so bad. Because at its core, it's Charlotte Flair, Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. Tiffany Stratton is the future of the women. She's one of the vital parts of the future of the women's division in WWE. This was going to be a great match even before Charlotte chose Stratton to face her. Listen, has the build been great? Look, consult your doctor. I'm not going to get into it, but it's going to be a great match. And listen, Charlotte Flair, people think, oh, she's going to go after number 15. No, I believe that WWE is going to do. Listen, I keep hearing that best for business stuff a lot. It's best for business to Charlotte to retain. Simply because, like, I think she's just recently went over 100 days as champion. Mm-hmm. So she's had the belt over 3 months.
Yeah.
It does. And I said, not only that, let Tiffany Stratton have a WrestleMania moment. Charlotte can easily get number 15 at whenever this year, if you want to do that. But let Tiffany have a run, have a moment. It's going to be a great match. The biggest concern is that I just hope Charlotte, like, I think Charlotte's going to show up. I think Charlotte's going to be Charlotte. Tiffany's going to be Tiffany. That's what's going to make the match great. So I'm going to go with the fact that Tiffany Stratton retains, simply for the fact that Charlotte can eat an L at WrestleMania because she already has to Rhea Ripley. So in a championship match. And by the way, every match that Charlotte Flair's had has been a championship match. So, and she's taking L's. So it's not people like, oh, she can't lose. Yeah, she can. And then John's talking about Charlotte. I'm going to say Charlotte. I'm not going to say Charlotte. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be rude. Ignore the laughter. I'm just not going to be rude.
Kaiser.
Nobody's in your DM, Kaiser. Jesus, Kaiser Ponte.
Kaiser.
Come on. Could get 15 at the women's pay at Yeah. Like,
yeah,
listen, if she does it at Evolution, like, great. But oh my God. Listen, for the record, Charlotte Flair, listen, I know I've said some things about you. But these two, man, they're basically comparing you to the movie Her to Scarlett Johansson and her. That's how they feel about you.
No,
Like,
I'm saying this one. No. She used to be a human. You look when she first debuted. She was a woman, and then now she is an android. That face has had more plastic surgery than my back has had operations on. That's not good.
Jesus. Hi. If you're hi. Listen.
Look, even Dutch Mantel said the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Dutch got my
So
back.
you know what? So if Dirty Dutch says it, so you know what? I stand corrected. So
Because he said what was so funny, he goes, whoa. That's not Charlotte. And the guy just goes, yeah, that is. He goes, no. And he brought up a picture. And then because he says, I trained her. She doesn't look like
you
so
know, you know what it reminded
reminded
it's awful. You know what it reminded me of when we all keep it reminds me of Family Guy.
Yeah.
When what was it? When Meg was dating Quagmire because Meg had turned 18. And so when Quagmire found she was 18, so when Peter tries to goes in the room and shows a picture. Oh, don't you dare bring the great song Barbie Girl and the great group Aqua into this.
That's a classic. I work out to that.
Also, Aqua, listen, another great Aqua song, Dr. Jones. So, as the music nerd in me, check that out. But anyway, go back to my Family Guy story, which I'm watching right now. It reminds me of the scene where, like I said, with Peter and so Peter showed a picture of actress Joan Van Ark.
Yeah.
Now, it's not important to know who Joan Van Ark. Let's just say Joan Van Ark was a great star of the 80s.
Okay.
Like she was a great actress. I forgot. I think she was on Dynasty, one of those shows in the 80s. And then so she says, "Oh, she's beautiful." And then Peter, and then after Quagmire dated her for 3 weeks, and then it showed like another picture, and it's just like plastic surgery and stuff. And then Meg Meg got scared. And like every time I think about when you guys talk about that with Charlotte, I'm like, is Charlotte Flair basically Joan Van Ark? Like these are the things you're not supposed. Like, listen, my brain just is wired in a way where things.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
But like, listen, whatever. Jesus, I can't think of a straight face. Whatever Charlotte thinks if that's the way she thinks beauty is, then okay. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it for the perception. Like, if that's what she thinks beauty is, okay.
All right. We'll hear. We got you. All right. So another match that's not on here, but it is going to be in WrestleMania. I believe it's night 1. The New Day versus the War Raiders. I'm not going to lie. This is one of those matches I would have pushed to Raw, but, it is what it is. The tag titles. I'm going to say New Day wins it. What do you think?
You know what? I do. But, once again, brain loading. What if we see Big E return and screw the New Day?
I would not be mad. I would love that.
Because I'm not saying he has to get physically involved. Because, like I said, we still, we're under the presumption that he's still medically not cleared.
Yes.
Like to fight. So, but he doesn't mean he can't show up and be a disruptor. Like, and it worked for me, but we're just talking about just them one-on-one. Like, whether we like them or not, New Day is one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history.
Yeah.
You put them up there in the same conversation with the Usos. You can put them up there with how, the Hart Foundation. You can put them up there. The Hardy Boys, the Dudley. Like, you can put them in that sort of, like, when we're looking about tag teams all the time, you can kind of go out of WWE universe if you want to.
Yeah.
But when you think, like, you can make a case for them to being on a mount, So, I think they've had the most I think they have the most matches at WrestleMania, which is hard to believe. But if you think about it,
between
it's
them
like
and the Usos, I think they.
Well, the top two,
for a while.
Yeah. So listen.
By the way, we said Jay was win. By the way, I don't know if anyone caught that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, we got caught up in the sauce.
Yeah.
Jay's gonna win. Yeah.
They want to be called nowadays. Yeah, you got that right. It's like this. I could see if they don't win, it would be because of Big E, I think.
Yeah.
And look, I just think it's time for them to have the belts, give them something, even though they got cooled off majorly after they turned heel. I remember when they turned heel, it was shocking. You were watching it live, and it's like I saw you. It's like they were melting your heart the way they were going after Big E, and I saw that, and I'm like, oh. So yeah, um, I would be interested. I really would. I would like to see what happens. I can't wait to talk about this. Jade Cargill, Naomi. Some people are not looking forward to this match. I am on the other side going, I cannot wait for this match. I think this is one of those matches this is what we've been waiting for, Naomi. First time two women are going to be able to be in a match and there's no belt involved. This is not a celebrity match. This is a grudge match, basically. I look forward to this. What do you think about this match?
At its core, and like I say, I wrote a little bit of this. So hope you guys give it a read. If you got time, you can check out the article. I'm not pressuring it. But one of the things I talked about is that if you love storytelling, this is the match for you. Yeah. This match tells a story. Like all matches tell a story, but as you can see, most of these matches, you don't need a full story for it to work. But this one tells a story. And this has the potential in a stack card to be one of the matches that we walk away from night one talking about.
Yeah.
Because if you get, this goes back all the way to November of last year, where we know what happened with Jade and the whole mystery, and then all of a sudden, then next thing you know, Jade's out here attacking Naomi, and Bianca's like, no. And then you fast forward to that SmackDown after Elimination Chamber, that Bianca basically confronted Naomi wanting answers, and then basically, admitted it was her. And then they just went after one another. Naomi to Jade, and Jade to Naomi. Sometimes a great story, you don't always need a lot of words. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But what makes this great is that it intertwines with the match that we'll talk about later. That's going to take place on night 2. And I feel that this match could have a major role in what happens on night 2. And it's a match that, listen, the story's there, the build is there, the betrayal is there. Like, listen, what if I told you that these two women were on the same team just last year? That's how great this story. And now they can't stand one another. That's storytelling.
Yeah.
These Jade, Naomi, and Bianca, they were on the same team, I believe, at WrestleMania 40, just last year.
Last year.
In fact, I have the plaque to prove it. I bought the plaque because I'm like, this is a great story. And now here we are. This match is going to be absolutely amazing. And then Leslie John says, I think Jade wins. I just want to know, where does Jade go after she beat? That's a question that's going to be answered probably night 2. Because that's why I say this match is important, because it impacts night 2. Like, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but if I listen, I agree. I think, Naomi's already won at WrestleMania. I believe she won the title. The SmackDown title is like a gauntlet, but whatever. I forgot. But to have Jade her first singles match in a WrestleMania, I think she gets the W. And listen, and I'll just say, listen, it impacts night 2 and what happens as well. So back to you in the studio.
I swear we think a lot alike, because I keep saying I keep thinking the same thing. I keep running like different scenarios in my head, and I always come back to the same one. So I'm with you. I think night one, night two is going to be very interesting dynamic for the women. Um, and I think it may, you know, be very interesting for Naomi and a certain woman that we'll talk about later on. Um, yeah, yeah, you just can't. Yeah, and I mean, Jade wins, and I want to know. Yeah. Here's what I'm going to say. I think Naomi wins. I think she she wins it because, like I said, every scenario I've run through, it always comes back. Naomi gets the win,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nothing against Jade,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it's more of how Naomi wins because of Jade being as dominant as she is. You got to find a way to beat her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Naomi wins this, and we'll carry the story in night two when we talk about the other. Um, Rey Mysterio, Americana Grande. A lot of us have said
El Grande Americana.
El Grande Americano. Now, no,
That's what his mother, Mrs.
that's
El
what it says
Grande.
on the birth certificate. Dole.
Yeah. What's the
So,
last name? Grande
huh?
Americana. What's the
Yeah,
first name?
yeah. And
We're
look,
asking too many. We're asking too many questions.
I personally think everyone's blowing this out. You know, the whole thing about Chad Gable. I feel bad. Chad has never going to have a WrestleMania match. But look,
I mean, God, it's gonna suck.
I know.
I mean, that's
I'm going to tell you, I think I've cracked the case, guys. I think when Rey Mysterio, if he takes this mask off, and I hope he doesn't, but if he does, I think y'all going to find out that under that mask, it's Omos. I just have this feeling. I've never seen Omos and Grande in the same place. Omos has been in Japan. He's learned the arts of lucha. You'd never know. You don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think it's Chad Gable. I mean, everyone has told me it's not Chad Gable. So I had to look at other people, and I think the guy that just stands out to me is Omos. So, and I think Rey Mysterio is going to win. I think I think the loaded mask. I think he'll counter that, or maybe pull something off where he does it. Maybe. I will say this: WrestleMania, Rey Mysterio. I always look forward to what outfit she goes with, what theme. I know DC stopped him now for doing a few of them, but man, come on, just work. And I love some of the ideas he comes up with. It's really cool. But and it's funny. It's like you go, oh man, this could be Ray's last one. I don't know, man. Ray just keeps going. So
listen, Ray's out here trying to be like Tom Brady. Like that.
Yeah.
Like, this man's not gonna.
It's gonna be one of those moments where Ray goes, "All right, I'm done." Everyone's gonna go, "Yeah, right. We'll see you next year."
Yeah, right. No, guys, I'm serious. All right, see it. Yeah, we'll see you at the after.
Right. I'm going to for the win. I want to see Penta Ray and
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd like that, but see, the problem, John, is that might be 10 years from now.
Yeah, we don't know. Hold on, Penta may be having his last match with Ray.
Right.
Just like, yeah, I think I need to hang him up. And here comes 80-year-old Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. Oh.
Hi, you whippersnapper. I'll retire you.
6'1". Oh, my back.
My cock's
the ropes. Oh.
My grandson just turned on me. You mother.
Oh my god. You see Don't Mysterio like Dad. I know. Listen. I know kayfabe and all, but look, you gotta sit down. Like,
just give me the
mask. I don't want to do what Shawn Michaels had to do to Ric Flair. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do. I don't want to frog splash you. Just hang up the boots. Hang up the mask.
You're losing with a roll up. I am not frog splashing you.
You have to leave.
Anyone want it this way.
We love you and we care for you.
We think you need help.
You have to, Dad.
Latinos.
Man,
Uh,
bro.
so
I
yeah,
just hope you don't pull a Ric Flair. Like that's all I'm asking.
yeah, same here.
Like,
All right, so let's talk about the two matches that are not on the cards here, but I'm pretty confident they're both going to be night two. Now I don't know how the order is. If it's me, I think you could start night two with AJ Styles and Logan, or maybe the women's tag match. I don't know, but the women's tag team match, Liv and Raquel versus Bailey and Lyra.
oh, wait.
Let's see what you think about it, man.
Did we talk about Seth Roman and Punk?
Oh shoot, you're right. Oh God, thank you for helping me. All right, I'm so glad you saw that. All right, hey, look, it happens. So look, this is WrestleMania 5, folks, in your time machine books. So Macho Man, Hulk Hogan were fighting over the title, but apparently also over Miss Elizabeth. Well, CM Punk and Roman have hot wives, and so does Seth. But apparently, this match is revolving around Paul Heyman. Like he's some sexy appetite. When you really look at it and go, y'all really messed this up, didn't you? But look, the storyline is the storyline. I think you finally got a way to get Roman invested in it, which is great. We talked about the callback, but what do you think about this main event? Who do you think is walking away with the dub?
This is interesting to me. I'm going to stick with what I thought from the very beginning, and that's Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because I feel that if you go back to last year's WrestleMania, and I've said this on WrestleTech, I've said this on the show,
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins, last year he was an important piece to that story that was told at WrestleMania 40.
Yes.
Now it feels like he's at the core because of the connections that he has with with Punk and with Reigns.
Yeah.
I feel that because it feels like Punk and Roman are just doing their own thing. It says always been the wild card,
Yeah.
which is super super odd to say.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see the story that's being told, it sets up to the point where it feels like Roman and Punk kind of cancel each other themselves out. And remember that Seth jokingly said that what's best for business. So, like, there's a reason why certain matches are happening on certain nights.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could easily see Seth Rollins return for night 2 for the main event, for another main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I see what John's saying with Punk winning because Rollins is the one that made it. Sure, but I think from a pure storyline perspective, I can see a situation where I think this is not going to be Punk's last WrestleMania. Like, I feel that you could go Punk, but a part of me just feels that Seth could win it for a different reason, or better yet, Punk could win it because Seth has a bigger plan. It can be a bigger part of WrestleMania again on night 2, like he was last year. But except in this case, it's gonna be in a different situation. So I maybe it's the Rollins fan in me that sees it. And listen, I don't disagree with John. I don't disagree with John whatsoever here. I'm gonna go Seth, and I wouldn't be upset if it's Punk.
Yeah. I don't think Roman's winning, and it's not because of what we heard today.
Yeah.
I don't. By the way, another thing Roman said was he thinks maybe 2 years, and then he's probably looking at maybe a different form of entertainment.
Yeah.
For a lighter schedule wise. Look, I'm gonna just tell you this. These guys get in here, they get on their run, they do their thing. Man, just appreciate them. So if the ride gets over in 2 years, appreciate it.
Yeah.
They can always have a renaissance and want to come back. You just keep the door open and you go from there. So let's just let that be said. I think this match is going to be really good. I love that. I really honestly felt that Punk and Seth have been the core of this match. But there's a part of me that wishes somebody wasn't in AEW and he would be in Punk's place because we never got a triple threat match with the Shield.
How does Cope fit in all of this?
I mean, yeah, I know. I thought the same thing. I was like, dang, man, it'd just be awesome to see Cope in here. But, got to get another old guy. No, it would have been cool to see Mox. But my thing is this. I love the storytelling in this match particularly. And yes, everything that we have seen is pushing Rollins. I think Rollins wins, but I would not be surprised if they give the win to Punk. But Rollins is still going to be strong.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you're right with a lot of the lines he said. The only reason I'm not picking Rollins just outright is he was left standing. And he's been the one left standing for the past few weeks. So it's
that's fair.
Ooh, the go home math is not math.
Right, yeah. 1 + 1 is looking like 5 more than 2. Yeah.
Yeah. You got the Tony D math, and it's just not working.
No.
So, and we know how that math could throw someone off. So, they think they go to the big stage and they can just settle it, but without even the odds. But we won't talk about that. So yeah, I think Seth Rollins is going to play a major role in both nights. I'm with you. I think, yeah. But I'm going to give the win to Punk just because it's just one of those. It's honestly as simple as this. If he wasn't so dominant last night, Monday Night Raw, I would probably have went with Rollins hands down. But because of it's like, oh my God, you're kind of really now laying it thick here. So, all right. So we said Jey Uso's going to win. We said we want Jacob to win, but if Folly's going to be LA Knight, we want to see Naomi pull this off. You've called Jade. We kind of are both going with the Ray, I think. We're definitely going with Punk. And we said the tag title match with New Day, we would be okay with New Day, or if the Vikings win because of Big E, that would be cool. And I believe the Charbot, we want to see her, go to the recycle bin, and Tiffany Stratton with the W. And I'm trying to think, what was the other match that we covered so far? I think that's good. Okay.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, I got a copy of the night one. So
good. All right. So now, night 2, we've got a Sin City Street Fight.
Oh God.
We've got the women's tag team titles.
By
the way, there are 4 women's matches on the card of WrestleMania.
Yep.
Tag titles, the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, and we had a grudge match with Naomi and Jade. I think that's a great positive step, especially when you look at when we talked about NXT with all the women that, like 10 women being featured.
Yeah.
And, so it's like people, when you say, oh, well, they're not worried about, represent. No, they're going to represent, and they're going to get the best talent in these matches. Just you got to let it cook, okay? So, what do you want to start with? We got Styles and Logan. We got Priest and McIntyre. We got the women's tag, the Intercontinental title, the women's triple threat.
I mean, you kind of mentioned we can start the Sin City Street Fight.
All right. What do you think?
Listen, I cannot stress enough how much I love Drew on the microphone and the development he's had over the last year and a half. And people will say, "Oh, this match, it doesn't make no." I think it's big. This is the match I like to say is making lemonade out of the lemons you got. So it's making so. I think given that, it's tough to pick a winner because you can make a case for absolutely both. So it's a matter of who needs to win the most. And quite honestly, you look at it that way, it would feel the answer is Damian Priest, because it feels like a lot of people feel like people will say he feels out of place. And I think he feels fine, and I think he's fine. I think he's good. His run was okay, like whatever. However, but I can't see a situation where Drew doesn't walk away as the winner, given what I've seen the last couple of weeks, especially where Priest has looked pretty dominant, and I would just simply go for. See, I'm really torn because you know what, I basically talked myself into picking the wrong thing. Priest needs to win more, like I said. So I'm gonna go Damian Priest, but wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if McIntyre won, because this just feels like a match that you put it together, two former champions, and let's see them beat the bejesus out of each other in Vegas.
Mm. Wow. Because see, I thought you kept saying Priest was looking. I thought McIntyre was looking more dominant. Let me just give me a second. Priest wins. I don't know where he goes, but I'm picking Priest to win. I want to see.
We've kind of seen that though.
Oh God, John, we've seen that.
Priest the Archer.
John, we've seen that though.
My
John,
thing is,
you're not the judge.
unless it'll tie into, and we'll talk about the IC. Things have to happen
Yeah,
for me to kind of get on board with that.
yeah, and we've all talked about how when you think of Damian Priest, a lot of the people that were discussing him kept bringing up he's lost in this angle with the Judgment Day. So that's kind of where my mind goes. All right. So I am. That's kind of where I'm at, and it's nothing personal. It's just look. I think if anyone deserves to win this, it's Drew McIntyre. I think Drew does need to get the W. Now, this being a street fight, they're both going to look awesome. Let them tell the story, and I'm going to give it to. I will give it to Drew. I think Drew wins the match. They can always do another match. Also, this can be a rivalry that can go for a little bit. And I get it. He's not facing Cena. He's not facing. Look, guys, they weren't. It wasn't getting close to those things. So you just have to, make do with what you got. All right. And Drew McIntyre is really good, and I do think Drew wins. So that's how I'm picking that match. And I would hope they would do a nod to Piper and Goldust, not the end part, but more like the crazy cinematic style. How they did the stunts and stuff. Do something like that. I think that would be really cool. Hell, even in a point, it's like they drive off and then they come back. That would be awesome. I think that's one thing that I really loved about certain matches. Where you kind of go, did they just drop off? What happened? All right, so let's talk about it. The women's tag team title match. We got Bayley and Lyra versus Liv and Raquel. Ladarius, you there? All right, so I'll go ahead and give my take on that. I am looking at this match and I am very intrigued by this match. I love Liv. I think Liv has done yeoman's work with what she has been given. She has been one of those people that every time you look and see what she's doing, she's taken every opportunity. That match she had with Bayley was amazing.
Oh, fell on my ass, flipping over. No, this is water.
You okay? We lost Ladarius. What happened?
Oh no, I'm here. Sorry about that. I used the.
It's all good. I just hear I fell my. I'm like, wait, what?
No, I used the. I came from the bathroom. I apologize. I had to really.
You're
Drinking
good.
Dr. Pepper and water, and then so I had a in my room. I almost slipped my carpet got a little wet, and then near my computer area, it's drying up. But like I put, you know how you put like that mat to kind of when you put your rolling chair,
Uh-huh.
like when that part gets wet, then it's all bets are off. And thank God the chair saved the chair saved me from being on America's Funniest Home Videos. So you would have saw this laptop, the camera flip. You would have saw me grabbing. Oh man, so man, this.
Oh, that was hilarious because I'm like,
Like I said, I apologize. I was going to mention the private chat, but I didn't. I'm like I didn't want to. You know, like I think because my bathroom was right near me, so it's like I hop in, hop out, and then I tried to come and sit back down, and then man,
hold on. You tried to sit back down, your chair went psych.
right, and the slippery part said, "Not today, pal. Not today."
Tony D'Angelo's trying to set you up.
Listen, that's Tony D'Angelo. Listen, I'll say it again. You come after me, pal. Yeah, it's gonna be the 3 of you versus the 4 people I got, and I'm not sitting nobody down. So basically, all I really need to get 3 more people, and I've already won the match, and we haven't stepped in the ropes.
So Bailey Flyover beats Liv Raquel. Then Cora and Roxanne get called up. They challenge Liv and Raquel, and I think Jade and Roxanne could go up together as a tag team. Look, that could be done. I think Cora wants to actually stay in NXT to actually kind of earn her stripes a little bit, but you know, it just depends on how they feel. If they think she's ready, I can see that happen. So, what do you think about this women's tag match, man?
Okay, but before the accident,
Yeah.
pick a
Before
winner.
the Angelos tried to take you out.
America. What answer was that? Wake up and give us an answer. Wake up, you. Wake up, you beautiful bastard, and say something.
Tony D's like, did you hear what that Darius Brown said? We gotta get him. All 3 of us. Let's go.
Listen, hey, Tony D, respect. You're just as Italian as Olive Garden. Get out of here. Take that, and that's your gratuity tip that you put in the check. That's the 15% right there. Oh man, I love Rizzo. I love Adriana Rizzo. Though. Yeah. Listen, listen, but I really like them though. I really like Tony D, Stacks. I really like them, but it's just that particular thing. I think sometimes they even got to laugh at it, and I think they are. Because listen, I know I did because even Steiner Math can't explain that. Steiner Math's like, yeah, you would need the same amount, right? Like, but anyway, go back to the tag match, and here's the thing. A part of me feels they could let Bailey and Lyra win. And like I said, this is kind of listen, a lot of these matches kind of tie together. This particular match ties in heavily with the fatal 4-way tag match. It's that's going to take place tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, excuse me, on Saturday. So which makes me believe that if Bailey and Lyra wins, and that's the point I'm getting to, John. Yeah. And so that's why I say it ties in together. If we're using that stream of logic, you would say, like, if Bailey and Lyra wins, like you could go, then you say, oh, well, Roxanne and Cora, like I say, so what happens on Saturday will impact what happens here, obviously. But because see, the biggest thing is that would they put the belt on them knowing that Lyra is the Intercontinental Champion? And that's the part that kind of, and listen, it's not Lyra's fault because see, here's the thing. I think the IC it's going to be featured more post WrestleMania, and I keep saying that because I'm like, well, the logic is that maybe that explains why Chelsea Green is not on the card. it's not that, and that's why we'll see her in a 6-women tag match on SmackDown tomorrow night. It's because maybe they're the build, because you think about it, they've had multiple championship matches and they defended the belt plenty of times before WrestleMania. So it's about trying to kind of create a bridge and trying to go over it and find somebody else on the other side. But like Liv and Raquel losing, for them to drop the belt, I would be okay with it. But this is the type of match where I don't think there's a wrong answer. But I personally will kind of go, listen, give it to Bayley and Lyra. Why not? And then it makes it interesting to how they handled the Intercontinental Championship picture after that, with her being tag champions as well. Because who's to say that, Lyra could be, listen, she could very much defend that belt against Roxanne. Or, we're all thinking Bayley and Roxanne. But we could also get Lyra and Roxanne for an IC title match. Or triple. So you can go a lot of different ways. Like I say, the match on Saturday would make a huge difference.
Yeah. Like, see, originally I was thinking we could get hold on. So there's a rumor going around.
Yeah, that's Kelsey the best Green, rumor. I love it.
Secret Hervis might be hosting
the.
First of all,
yes.
First of all, if this
happens, first of all, I'm going to do this. Keep talking. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah. Well, don't take it off now. I mean, we want people to be able to see the shirt. So you were doing good. So look, if this happens, the Secret Hervis and Chelsea need to have a suite, and I need Alba frisking everybody because she has been hilarious at that.
Listen, national security is important, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, dude, I'm on board. I am on board. Whatever they can do to get Chelsea involved somehow, I'm all for it. I have no problems. And you know what? You could have Damian and Drew McIntyre ruin the set as they're fighting all over the place. So, so yeah. All right, so let's talk. AJ Styles, Logan Paul. First of all, great job with Karrion Kross, AJ. I thought that was a great match. Thought that was great for Karrion. Man, the more I think about this match, Ladarius, my view is this. AJ Styles needs a win. He hasn't had a win since, I want to say, the WrestleMania where he beat, I want to say either Shane or maybe Shinsuke. I can't remember which one was before what. But he hasn't had a win. And I think you could beat Logan, and Logan's still going to be a heel. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, AJ Styles, I would hope, gets the win. He's been nailed with that pulverizer. I think he finds a way and he gets the dub at WrestleMania. What do you think?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think just having AJ get the W, it feels great, especially at WrestleMania. And it's weird to say this, but Logan Paul doesn't need a win here. I think Logan Paul's job was to be like the heel and to kind of create the build to kind of get to AJ Styles. And I think he's checked that box. So AJ gets the win. I think it's going to be a very, very good match. Listen, as much as people may not like Logan Paul, I think he's put in the work. And we've seen him countless times kind of do that. So I expect nothing different here. But I think AJ takes the W.
I think so too. I like what we get with I think Logan gets it. Even though I'm not a big fan of him, personally, I think he's a dirtbag. I don't care what others tell me, but I think he is. But when I see what he does in that ring, he's very, very well polished, and he doesn't freeze when people are booing him. So that needs to be said too. So, all right, let's see. We talked about that. We talked about that. All right, this is a match I think might steal the show. The Fatal 4-Way match. Tell me the last time you saw a Fatal 4-Way and you said, I don't care if any of these, or I don't care if which one wins. I'm good with any of them, because that's how I feel. But what do you think, man? We got Braun Breaker defending the title against Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor and versus Penta. Folks, I want you to think first before anything else. We get in a U.S. title match with Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. And then the next night, we're going to get Braun Breaker. We're going to get Finn Balor. We'll get Dominic Mysterio and Penta for an Intercontinental title. Would you have given me put money on that and said that we're going to get that? I mean, that's freaking amazing. But what do you think?
Listen, having that fatal 4-way was the absolute right call. Because how could you make a case to leave two of these guys out and have, especially, we'll put it this way, to leave out either Dom, Finn, and Penta out, and have basically choose between those guys to face Braun. Having all four makes sense because you're intertwining storylines. And listen, Braun, this is the type of match where, look, you could make a case for all four guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could make a case for Braun to go out there and kind of defend it, retain it, and we'll figure out what happens next later. And to me, but I'm looking at two guys. I'm looking at either Dom or Finn, and for me personally, I want Finn to win this because I said this on this show. What was the last meaningful singles win or singles win in general that Finn Balor has had? And I tell people to think about it. Like, you tell them that he was the Universal Champion, and you're like, oh man. And look, it sucks when he got hurt, but to me, I just feel that Finn needs this. And I feel that you could do something with Dom at a later PLE, and you could do something there. But either one of these two guys, I think, should win it. And like Penta will have other opportunities. I really do. I believe in that. But if you ask me, I'm going to say Finn. Like, to me, it just feels like out of all four of these guys, he needs to win the most. Like, Penta will be fine. And I think Braun's going to be fine. I think even Dom's going to be fine, but it's going to cause and this could lead to something, to backlash, and even beyond that, to potentially SummerSlam. So I'm gonna lock in with Finn.
All right. Oh, man, this fatal 4-way is going to be tough to pick, but no, I think Styles is staying still. I know he's not close to his contract being up, by the way, and I think WWE goes Penta because I think Dom is going to cost. Well, I'm going to go for the craziness. I'm going to say Dom's winning the belt, and I'm going to say he pins Finn Balor, and that's going to ignite the feud. And I just, guys, Dominic Mysterio, if you asked me what I thought of him, I would tell you I'm tired of him. I think he's annoying. He's just stupid. But this man has actually been carrying the Judgment Day. And not just that, but he has been really a factor. And his wrestling's gotten better. And you know what? He's filling out. He's working with Liv has helped him a whole lot too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to see that play out more. Now, if we were to develop maybe something different where I could see Finn winning. Look, I could see any of these guys win. I could see Penta come out with that belt. I could see Braun retaining. I could see Finn winning. But for some reason, I just want to see Dom Mysterio win the Intercontinental title. It's just, call it what you want. I want to see the madness. I think it would be great. The stash, running wild. So, in Las Vegas. But yeah, I think, but either way, if Finn wins, he's pinning Dom. I think that's going to be, whatever happens, those two are going to kind of intertwine each other. And good evening, Suz. Okay, the wise man has entered right before we talk about the dual main event here. Because I'm going to tell you, you could easily call this one a co-main event. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair are going to challenge for Io Sky's women's world heavyweight title. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of crazy built up to this match. I don't think we needed some of the built up, but we got it. So here we go. Let's first go. Oh, anything with my tribal chief is the main event. That's true. Oh, trust me. Tribal chief has been on the roll. We just don't talk about crowbars now. And remember, fellas, Liv called Finn a loser. I know. That's the other thing too. That's kind of why I'm thinking Dom gets the win on Finn. That's what I'm gonna go with. Even though I would love for Penta to win, just because that's good. Think about WrestleMania, Las Vegas, and everyone saying Tony fumbled there. I mean, that chant will live on in infamy. Or until the father tells Tony he can't have his AEW anymore.
I need it back. But, give it back.
We're not talking. No, you did it. Look what you did. Look how much money you paid these guys. You really paid John Moxley this much money to stab himself with skewers?
It looked cool.
Idiot. And why is this slab of meat right here? Oh, that's Chris Jericho. Oh! Did you pay for him too? Kinda.
Break the wall. No.
He would know to get 4 people in a fight, but anyway. Oh God, that's gonna. If we're gonna have to find a way to clip that and just put it up as a short, because that was awesome. The D'Angelo match. All right. So what are you thinking about this triple threat match? I mean, built aside, who are you going with? Who you got there, Tribal Chief? You just made the list.
Yeah. You know what we need to put on that list? The learning tree. Let's put that.
Yeah.
Let's put that on the list. And let's say, let's do a callback to what I talked about earlier with Jade versus Naomi.
Yes.
I believe that they're going to impact this match. Because when you really look at it, I personally believe one of them, whoever wins, could potentially either help or hinder Bianca Belair. Or it could be, more on the hinder side.
Okay.
Because a part of me feels like, to me, the logical answer that makes a whole lot of sense is Io Sky, because they just been messing with Io Sky like she doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And that goes for Rhea and Bianca. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking at this like, for Bianca to become full heel, to be champion, and then she's a heel, don't hinder the gender. That sounds like something totally different. Wise man. Don't hinder the gender. That sounds like
haven't heard that in a long time.
Don't hinder the gender. Oh, I'll say it then. I'll say it now. That could be taken a multitude of ways. Hey, don't hinder the gender.
Nobody wants to be hindered. No one wants to hinder a ginger.
Listen, you walk in a dark alley, someone tells you that, you need to go the other way. Hey, don't hinder the gender. What? Excuse me?
What'd you tell me?
I think my hotel's the other. Wait a minute. This is the main street. Go the other way. But oh my God. We're so on topic.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if we can get these. But
we're in second last. So Greg Maddox.
Yeah. So Greg's like, oh man, all right. Greg's like, even the crowbar, those guys are pretty good. So we'll let it slide. But and John, do we get Damage Control helping Io with? Who's that? He's that Dakota Kai, or the Kyrie? You know, that's a great question because we've been seeing like Kyrie,
Yeah.
like the pictures, like she looks like we
Damn, I know she
on
looks
the
big.
precipice of a return. I'm thinking, listen, this is the match where we could see a lot of different returns and a lot of things happen. It's just how you do it because sometimes you can overdo it. And that to me, if you nobody wants to hinder nobody. But listen, some people pay good money to have their gender hindered. So I'm gonna leave it there. So you can't censor if I don't say the words.
That's right. That's right, bro.
Wise men always coming through with you to cover up what we really want to say. Great job.
Yep.
That smells like a summer raise to me. But
Wise man working overtime today.
listen, so hey, he's a hardworking person.
Yes, he is. We give him credit. We acknowledge him.
So if you ask me, I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to lock in with what I've already kind of felt. I'm going to lock in with Bianca.
Okay.
I'm going to lock in with Bianca because, man, deep down, I really want to say, like with Rhea, I love Rhea, but I'm trying to figure out how we get there. Like with EO, like John mentioned, Damage Control could return. Kyrie Sane could come out and save her friend. We could see, we could even see Asuka make a return and kind of help out as well. But I'm going to stick with Bianca because I feel that Jade or Naomi is going to impact the match in one form or another. This is listen. All of these are tough. This one is we have multi wrestler matches like this. It makes it tough because you can go at least two different ways at least. And if it's a fatal four like the IC belt, you can go all different ways. This triple threat, you can go a lot of different ways. I'm going to log in with Bianca.
All right. I am going to go. I'm going to go with Bianca, and it's going to be because of this. I'm going to go and retro back to what I said about Naomi. And it's going to be because of Naomi and a possible her crew, aka the Meta Girls, distracting, and Bianca, or maybe they're attacking Rhea, and Bianca takes advantage and shows that she was a part of everything. And we go, so you get a call back not just from that, but you get a call back from that NXT Women's Tag match.
Because and then also remember, we still don't know who turned in that footage and essentially framed Liv and Raquel.
Yes.
And the more that you're talking, it makes me believe, given a part of me kind of simply feels, you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if we did see the Meta Girls. Mm-hmm. Because listen, I am all for listen, just like with Damage Control, it is shown you can have an all-heel female faction.
Yeah.
Like the blueprint is there. And listen, we're talking Bianca being how we said all along.
Yep.
Listen, Bianca's the mastermind. People are like, oh, that's not fun. Listen, folks, if you want to go back and watch the other shows, we've talked about it. I've talked about it in depth.
Yeah. We've talked about it a lot.
And you could hurt Naomi and the meta, like, and then listen, and once again, Jade, listen, this program, you could push this bad boy to SummerSlam.
Exactly.
You could put
and the whole thing is this. You're making Bianca a dominant champion. You'd make Naomi the secondary. You make the Meta Girls the tag. You can have them with all the belts by Evolution. They win them all by then.
Right.
Bianca's still the champ. And at SummerSlam, if you wanted to take the belt off, Rhea and her and Bianca. Or you wait it out till Mania next year. But I'm saying this is the way you would go.
Yeah, you could carry this bad boy to SummerSlam, and listen, the meta, like it would make sense because I tell people this. It's like folks, it was never believable to me that Naomi could push Jade off of that high of a structure.
Yeah.
Never believable. Like I'm not disrespecting Naomi's talents, but the only people, the only person that would make sense that could do that is Bianca Belair.
Yes.
And I keep stressing to people is that it makes it like Naomi could basically say that she's the fall person and could say that she's protecting Bianca, who was the true mastermind and maybe was the one that really pushed Jade. Because for all we know, Jade was blindsided and Jade doesn't really know who she's just basing it on that Naomi saying that she was the attacker. But we haven't seen the footage because we always see the footage.
Yeah.
Of what go back to HBK and Triple H. We saw that Triple H attacked HBK. When it came to the running of the, we've seen when people are attacked, there's always footage.
Yeah.
There's always footage. And I think and that's the part that had me convinced that Naomi's not the attacker. Yep. Because we would have saw Naomi do it. Because we always see it, and we don't know who turned in. For all we know, it could have been the Meta Girls. It could have been Jade. Excuse me, not Jade. It could have been Bianca herself.
Yeah, that's why.
Just to get the distraction. I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. To get the distraction, to get the heat off of them. She's the one that turned and made it look like Liv and Raquel did it. When she herself was there, but Liv nor Raquel could quite see. And remember the interaction that Liv had with Jade.
Yep.
And that lets me know that, man, Liv knows something. Liv and Raquel know something. And that something could be is that they know who was really there. And they really know that, hey, you're maybe attacking the wrong person, or you need to go after Bianca as well. So, a lot of yeah. So I'm sorry. We're trying to wrap it up, folks. I'm sorry. So I'm done.
No. Look, this has been always cooking in my head. Is how do we do it? How would everything come together? And would this make sense? Would that make sense? And originally I was going to be like, well, maybe someone different versus Lash, but someone else. But then I was like, no. It has to be Jakar because here's why. Remember the Rumble. It was Lash, Jakara, Naomi, Bianca that beat the holy crap out of Chelsea. And that part stood to me. And I went, okay, I can see where they go. And that's what I'm saying. I think that what would happen is you would have Naomi come out, Jade thinking she got Naomi out of the way, and that's when the other two, or one like Jakara or Lash, and then you got Jakara that helped Bianca take out Rhea or Io.
Yeah,
and there you go.
It's simply like this: if you can't beat them, join them. That's the philosophy.
Yeah,
it could never beat Bianca nor Bianca and Jade for the belts. I believe they faced Bianca and Naomi as well. I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure. But I know they faced off against Bianca and Jade. And I'm thinking it all fits the timeline to your point, and I'll just add this before we move on. I tell people, go back and see, of all the tag teams, go back and see out of Bianca, when Bianca and Jade were champions, who did they face a multitude of times? And a part of me believes, and listen, this could be far-fetched, Bianca made a deal with the Meta Girls. Hey, I'll get you a tag match. But I need you to do something for me.
Yeah.
And because see, to me, Naomi alone is not feasible. I watched Columbo, I watched Murder, She Wrote, Scooby-Doo, which is a great show. Scooby-Doo, great. Scooby snacks are great, but a lot of great detective work happens there too.
Oh yeah.
And so they faced the Meta Girls. Okay, yeah, thank you, John. So that leads me to believe that, man, we keep saying like, oh, why is the Meta Girls getting these tag matches, these title matches?
Mm-hmm.
Makes you wonder. Like, listen, because what would be the incentive for them to do it? I always tell people, you have to find the incentive.
Yeah.
And that's the incentive. And if you really think, like, listen, for all we know, that's why I say they, the Meta Girls may not win because they may not win that fatal 4-way tag match. Not because they're terrible tag team, but because they know they have, like the Triple H would say, a plan B.
Yeah.
And so they know that they have something in their back pocket, and they know they're going to be a part of something bigger somewhere along the way. Like I said, a lot of moving parts, and like I say, I had some theories, and then here's what happens, folks. I had something. I think I talked about it on my show, and I had no idea that CDouble had the same theories. So let's be clear. It's not like we sat in a room like we said. We literally had separate theories that happened to align.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when we started talking about it on the show, it's like, holy, we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like and I talked about it on my show, and I've talked about it to other people. I talked about it on my show with Tanya, right? I think last, and I said that, listen, I've always stood by the fact that Bianca was the mastermind.
Yeah.
And my theory did not change when Naomi was announced as the attacker because listen, we never saw the full footage.
No.
If you look at any attack that's ever happened, we've always seen the footage. We've seen the person or persons that done it. There's cameras back here. Hi, Miss Christie.
Hey, Christy.
Asking the great questions, but who said it first? That's a great question. I would like to think we both said it at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because you were saying it and I was in my head the whole time, and it's like I've heard people bring up Jakar and Lash, but they always bring it as if Naomi led the group. And I always was like, yeah, but what if? And that's where I took it. It's like that's where I kept on coming, because I kept coming back to the Rumble spot and how it was just so, one, it was cool, but two, you think, we're talking about Jade and Naomi about to wrestle.
Right.
We talked about Jade, Naomi, and Bianca teaming up. Well, wouldn't it be awesome if Naomi and Bianca, and then you got Lash and Miss Jackson, Jakari, and they are stable.
Yes. It's like it took me. What I mean to cut you up. I apologize.
No, you're good.
What got me on board with the Meta Girl is like, man, they've had an awful lot of tag matches against Bianca and Jade. It's like, and it's no disrespect. It's like something is, and I'm thinking, and then I was like, well, wait a minute. So what if? And then you reminded me of the Rumble spot, and I said, maybe a part of the deal, those tag matches weren't for free. It came with a deliberate plan of attack, because I believe, and I said, okay, we got something. And that's why I say Bianca is the mastermind from the word go. And then people are like, oh, well, that can't be. She's in the ring. And I'm like, tell me you haven't watched wrestling with telling me you haven't watched wrestling.
Exactly.
You know they pre-tape stuff, right? You know that they show up, like things could happen 2-3 hours before it comes up on the screen. We all kind of realized. I thought we all did.
Thanks,
maybe I missed the meeting.
Okay.
And hi, Miss Christie. And I didn't mean to get sidetracked because maybe it's the ADHD thing kicking. But I know you were talking.
This is so cool because we both literally had the same thought, but we never talked about it. So
yeah, I talked about it on my show. I talked about it with Tanya. I talked about it with her. And then
I think that was that one Friday show. I wasn't able to show up.
And I think no, actually it was a separate. I don't think. It was me and her. It was the interview. I was interviewing her, and that's when the whole thing started to happen. So I think it was like November, December of last year, and I said Bianca's the mastermind. Like, don't
Yeah.
let that. And I said, and I stuck with it, and I stuck with the theory, and I said, we're going to be vindicated. And I never shared it until, if I can go back and find that episode, which I can, I think it's on my channel, where I said, I think Bianca's the mastermind because like she had the perfect alibi. No one's going to blame her, and she could have done it, or better yet, it's like I said. Anywho, but Christy, I wanted to say that Christy, you were talking about this on the morning show. Usually they had the all women talk show podcast you were talking about.
Yes.
So I'll say, I don't know if Miss Christy is still there, but if you want me to come, I'll be more than happy to come on.
Yes,
I'll be more than happy to come on and talk with you ladies about whatever you want me to talk about. I'll show up. I'll be on time. Like this show, I show up like 2 hours late, but for you guys, I will show up on.
Yeah, and see,
go ahead.
But this is just one of those things, guys. That this may be just us overthinking and being excited about. But honestly, I think in WrestleMania you could pull this off.
Yeah, yeah.
And not only that, the buzz you would get.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm going to drink my Dr. Pepper. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, the buzz you would get from these 4 women being together would be just amazing, and just the reveal factor that you would have to do. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just happy to, we brought that up because that's just been something that I've had in my mind for a while. Was that whole scenario. And I've said this is why Bianca has to be a heel, because she could be like, y'all thought play the victim role, but you could do whatever you like in this.
Right.
But let's talk about it. The main event: John Cena going for number 17. Cody Rhodes on his mission to keep the belt with him, and we don't know what's going to happen at Backlash. And I always like to look at events coming up. So let's talk about it. What are we thinking? Cody, or are we looking at Cena?
Here, before I get into that, Miss Christy, that'd be awesome. My information, it's on the fancy screen there. So you can Twitter, or I think we follow each other on Twitter or X, and you reach. Like I said, I'd love to do it. If you guys would love me to be on, I'm not trying to push myself on the show. But if you want, I'll be more than happy to do it. Because I love you ladies. I love the support you show us. You guys know your stuff. So no, that's enough of me ranting. Back to the focal point. Back to what CDouble asked me. Because sometimes I think he gets a little agitated when I get off topic. But anyway.
No, you're good. You're good. I got you.
I think he mutters under the beard, so I can't see.
I mean, remember, I was pimping you, and I was also telling people that you need to, they need to be paying attention to you.
He was pimping me. Were we on a corner? Were we in a corner when you did this pimping? Because I don't know.
I don't know last night, or 2 nights ago.
I was hindering nobody's gender, sir, and I'm offended.
I'm not putting Ladarius in the corner. Would never do that to the tribal chief.
First of all, I would never hinder anybody's gender. Let's be super cool.
I would never miss my math and screw up something big.
Listen, even I went to school, and I know for a fact that 4 has always been greater than 3.
But Tony D'Angelo didn't.
Hey, I got a 4th. Like, that's the line I was waiting for. And when he didn't say it, I'm like, you want to know who? Somebody? I went to bed angry. I had no business being angry. Like, I had a great day that day, and I'm like, that's what triggered. I'm like, I had a great, and I'm like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. This man really went and hired 2 goons to show up for a street fight. And then so obviously you knew there was 4 guys. You got you brought the Brooklyn Brawler.
Hold on. Bring this up again. So Stax, who had his homeboy Lafino.
Those are his homeboy?
Well, I'm saying Lafino,
like his uncle.
The lawyer guy. And then he got the 2 jobbers.
Those are his uncles. Yeah, I got Uncle Vito and Uncle Sonny.
But
Like
hold
what?
on. But he made sure and brought 4
Right.
people.
This makes me believe that. Listen, if Stacks turns on D'Angelo, I'd support it. Listen, you got to make it. Listen, sometimes you got to make that tough decision. I mean, go ask Michael Corleone. Sometimes you got to take out your own family. Listen, no one said it's an exact science, but I would like to think math is an integral part of a street fight. I would like to think, like, don't, like, the old saying, don't show up to a gunfight with a knife to a gunfight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't show up with 4 guys, and don't show up with 3 guys when the other people have 4. That's Tony D'Angelo. That's Tony D'Angelo. But anyway, back to the Cena thing. Listen, this match never really needed a build because this build really happened after Cena kicked Cody Rhodes in the cojones after eliminating and beat the bejesus out.
Yep.
And for some reason Travis Scott was there, which will never ever make sense to me. Just like it never makes sense to me to how you can come up a car with a crowbar and park it perfectly. But anyway, but what do I know?
That's awesome.
I'm just a guy who's been in the, like, I'm just a guy who's seen a crowbar and seen cars parked, and it never made sense. But this match, I feel, obviously can go 2 ways. But here's the way I look at it. The Rock's going to make it. Listen, people wondering why The Rock hasn't showed up. Listen, the build has worked with The Rock not showing up. It goes to show you the strength of both Cena and Rhodes, because people are like, oh, where's The Rock? Where's The Rock? You didn't need him. And unfortunately, what happened with his plane, I think he was in London and something happened and everybody was okay. But you didn't need The Rock. You need The Rock at WrestleMania. This is what I always tell people. And I've said this on this show and I'll say it all the time. The Rock never opens the show. The Rock closes the show.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, you think of a superstar, think about what happened at the NXT. Like, listen, at the pay-per-view where you're like, oh man, this match should be the opener. No, if The Rock's involved, it's gonna close. I can't think of the pay-per-view where it was like when The Rock showed up. Oh, The Rock's gonna be here. Well, I think the match was it Cody or something? But anyway,
it was Roman and Cody,
right,
beating Jacob and Solo, and it had Big Jim showing up to be the equalizer.
And so, when The Rock's in Japan, listen, the Rock's going to be at WrestleMania. I think, yeah, he's in Japan. I think he'll be at WrestleMania. But to pick a winner, this sucks because could we see a situation where Cena wins number 17 and he, and what happens to the belt? Which makes me believe that maybe he's not going to retire. He's gonna pull a Tom Brady and be like, listen, sucks to suck. I'll see you guys at SummerSlam. I'll see you back. I'll see you next time. I'll see you on the Raw after WrestleMania. Like, he could do that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing for Cody. If you think about Cody and the story, Cody took L after L from Roman Reigns. And that bigger L when he's sitting in the middle of the ring.
With the chicken.
Yeah. Like, he shouldn't have gave that kid that belt. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Like, that kid watched you lose. Like, it's like you promised to get a home run and you go 0 for 4. That's not good. You can't get the ball. You can't get the ball out of the infield. Jesus. Like, you promised that kid you were going to get a W, and you failed. You failed, and good day to you, sir. If Cena wins, he pulls a John Moxley, and we never see the belt or Cena. You see, a part of me feels somehow This could be a situation where Cena wanted to align with The Rock. And this is where I say Seth Rollins plays a role. And I also think we could maybe see an additional member as well. We could see 2 new people join with The Rock. Because you have to start looking at another name to consider, Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to his promos. Like, he may not have said best for business directly, but he's low-key indirectly talked about how he's felt about his treatment. Listen, he's not the biggest fan of this match he's going to face against Priest. He felt disrespected.
Yeah.
He felt that he's, that having that belt for 30 seconds did something to him before he lost it. Felt disrespected. When he finally got his moment, look who comes down and takes it away. And look how it got taken away. So this makes me believe that we could see Cena grow a conscience. We could see Cena be like, you know what? I can't rock out. Listen, are we going to believe that Cena's going to end his career as a heel? I don't believe it.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, people didn't believe, people don't, like, your favorite player playing for a team that you didn't think about. Like, listen, you will remember Emmitt Smith with the Cowboys, ending his career with the Arizona Cardinals. That's how it would feel like. Your favorite player, your favorite athlete, retiring in a different uniform. That's how it would feel if Cena retired and left the company as a heel. There could be a way that you could revert back around and get him to be a face and turn on The Rock. And that, however, The Rock, like every great villain, has a plan B. And that plan B is Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. We can get this whole situation where that, for all we know, Cena turns on The Rock, and then all of a sudden Drew and Seth show up and screw John Cena, and somehow Cody retains.
Man, I'm
and that, to me, because the thing is with Cena, to me, it's never been about number 7. It's about number 17, but it was about him feeling successful and feeling wanted. And I think the heel run is getting the attention of the crowd. And I feel that Cena cannot end as a heel. Listen, it's like I said earlier. Imagine your favorite player. Like, listen, it's not like Tom Brady, Patriots to Bucks, because he was successful. You remember that. But his last season may not have been ideal. Is that, man, you wanted to be a Patriot. For Patriot fans, you wanted to be a Patriot forever. For Falcons fans, people wanted Matt Ryan to be a Falcon forever. But the last image you see of Matt Ryan is in a Colts uniform.
Yep.
Your favorite, listen,
lost in the game.
John Cena ending as a heel is like your favorite. Like I said, it's like your favorite player retiring in a different jersey after being on the same team for at least 10 plus years. That's how it would feel like. So I think everything that I just said might come to a reality. I think Cena has a turn of conscience and becomes a face again. But however, could we see Cody be the one to turn heel?
You're saying switchy. Okay.
And so what if, for all we know, all that stuff The Rock's been telling Cody, it hits Cody? That if I join The Rock, I get to be this champion. Because we've all talked about, like, how do we get a Cody heel? That's how you get it. That's how you get it. And for Cody, the equivalent, since we're sticking with sports, this is the equivalent of a team that's, it feels like a team that has always, despite being successful, still is missing something.
Yeah.
Despite being champion, Cody as a face, it doesn't feel right, or doesn't feel natural for some people. So Cody says, you know what? everything John has been saying is right. And they pull a Freaky Friday right there, where Cena has the turn of conscience, and then Cody becomes the heel champion that we want. And I'm sorry I'm sorry I'm being long, but it's a very intricate thing. I apologize for taking up. And for those staying up, thank you. Simply put, I, I think everything that I said, I feel confident in saying. It may not happen in that particular way, but I feel there's a switch. I think Cena realizes I can't go out like that. I want these fans to remember me no matter how they may feel about me. I did my job. I got them to hear me and listen to me because I had to be the heel for them to see how they treated me as a face. And I think that reality sets in for Cena when he gets in there and realizes, I think the crowd gets it now. And for Cody, I think Cody then realizes that to the words of The Rock, and like John said, The Rock told Cody, don't break my heart again. And I think it all sets in for Cody, that Cody becomes the heel that we want, that most of us want. And then we get a heel walking out of WrestleMania, but it's going to be Cody Rhodes. And he's going to join The Rock, maybe with the addition of Seth and potentially Drew. But there will be new people added to The Rock's collection, to this faction, to that stable. So with all that being said, I think the Cena's turn of conscience will cost him number 17.
All right.
Because the whole goal was just for him to get the fans to see that, you didn't love me as a face. And and then it's a whole conscience thing. But yet Cody's going to be the one to be like, well, wait a minute. And it's going to probably I need to be the heel to remain champion. And then you get this program down the road post. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So I think Cody remains champion, but he's going to also leave. And the show's going to end with him, The Rock, Drew, Seth, and fade to black.
All right. So here's
I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm done.
No, you're good. You're good. So here's CDouble way of looking.
Apologies to chat.
It's all good. So here's CDouble way of looking at this. Okay. I get everything you said. I get everything the chat said. John Brooks is, saying Cody, was told don't break my heart. Here's what I'm going to say. Cody Rhodes said something that no other babyface has ever said in any time of wrestling. They're allowed to like whoever they like. They're allowed to love another, in his words. Now, let's also go back in time. Night 1, Mania, Rollins, I picked to win. The reason why? Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins are walking out together. And Seth shows up at night 2 thinking, best for business. Curb stomps Cody. Cena goes for the cover. And of all things, Cody kicks out. Seth, and they're flipping it. Stone Cold shows up, go after The Rock. Seth is going to try to do another stomp. Roman takes out Seth. Because this ain't over. Cody survives Cena. He wins the match. But he's going to have a fatal 4-way match coming up at Backlash where he loses the belt. And he doesn't get pinned. Because Seth, Cena, Orton, and him will be in that fatal 4-way. And I always say I look ahead because sometimes the big title switch doesn't happen. but you kind of do it to see who's exposed. SmackDown, you can have McIntyre, Seth take out Roman. And now you're seeing the team come together. And I can see the Cody going heel. I can't see it just yet. I thought it was coming, but then it didn't. And then I'm like going, they're trying to cement him as the face, which is fine. I think you got to beat Cena once. Go ahead and get the win. But if he's dropping that belt, let him drop it the next month. And I like the idea of happening in St. Louis, Randy Orton's hometown. Randy is in the ring with Cena, but Cena gets the win. And he pins Randy. You could do it any way you want. But I think the conscious thing with Cena, we got to see how the crowd responds to him. Because let's be honest, this is going to be the first time he'll be on the U.S. ground since the Chamber. Well, wait a minute. Chamber was in Canada.
Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto. Okay. So this will be the first time in the States he's going to be a heel. Is he going to be the cool heel? He already said he ain't changing his music. He's not changing the colors. You're seeing John Cena. You remember that promo? You get nothing. Willy Wonka did it better. But still, I like the idea of what we're doing. But I also like the idea of what Cody said. The title is timeless. This stays with us. I think you get that victory, but you got to have another war. This isn't Avengers Endgame. This is we're just getting to the stages now of the second half of this. So I'm intrigued by this match. I think this match, and I think we're going to get The Rock. I think Rock's going to come out there, but I think Austin's coming out. Hall of Fame. His match is being inducted. He lives in that area. You don't think we're going to hear a glass shatter at least this time? We didn't get it with Taker. We got Taker chokeslamming The Rock. I just would love to see Stone Cold come out one time. Just rocking him just one time. Just throw fake punch. I don't care. Just whatever. Rock would sell it with the face and everything. Even though he's actually bigger than Stone Cold, but still. It would be great. I just want to see it. I think that would be fun. And then, like I said, I personally would like to see Cena win it, but I don't know. But I want to see what happens. I want to see how the crowd responds to him as being the heel here. But yet, knowing this is his last Mania, this is freaking amazing how they have tied this all up together. So I just can't wait. So, wow, we went 3 hours and about almost 30 minutes here on this review or the preview. And I think we did a good job. Tony D'Angelo, we're sending you the bill for going a little over. Greg Maddox has ruled that your stupidity in math has cost you that. So, and we're not eating at your place because there's always only 3 chairs on a table and not 4. So I don't know about you, Ladarius, but I don't trust a man that can't buy 4 chairs.
Look, I said what I said.
Yes, I know. So, all right. I had a good time, man. What did you think about the show, man? I hope you enjoyed it.
I mean, it felt great. I'll listen, Chad, if you like the show, if you're still up watching, we appreciate you.
Yes.
Like I say, first and foremost, shout out to the chat.
Yes.
For hanging around, listening to us just spiel about wrestling, WrestleMania, and everything else in between. Like to John, to Carrie, my wise man Craig jumping in here. Christy jumping in here.
We had A1 come in.
Hey, Chris A1 jumped in, and then Sports PSP, shout out to them for jumping in as well. you know, you guys are absolutely fantastic, and David Rosca as well.
Yep, and then Mr. Nasty, I think it is A or Nasseer. Yeah, where he says Ricky Sainz deserves it. So yeah, thank you all so much for being a part of the show. We really appreciate it. Me and Ladarius will talk. We'll discuss how we're gonna cover WrestleMania. Don't expect a WrestleMania review show after Sunday or Saturday because we're gonna be tired. But we'll figure it out. But yeah, we're looking forward to it, and I think it's gonna be fun. Enjoy the Hall of Fame. Enjoy Stand and Deliver. It's gonna be so much fun. And like I said, just enjoy wrestling. Whatever got you into WrestleMania, whatever got you into WWE, or just wrestling in general, man, just take that and enjoy it because that's what this is. This is a Super Bowl of their pinnacle here, and you know what? It's time to have fun. And we all remember the old song,
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I forgot it was live mic, hot mic. Sorry about
yeah, yeah.
that. I should have said something about the weekend. I'm a
Oh, that would have been
starboy,
yeah. Hold on. That's
what have
what
you
should happen.
done?
The weekend should actually sample the WrestleMania song into another song.
WrestleMania.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I can feel my WrestleMania.
I can't feel my legs when I watch 4 hours of wrestling, but I like it.
I can't change my jealousy, D'Angelo. Math ain't mathin'. That math ain't nothing.
He's
Hey
about to go get
Tony,
4 guys with
hey
three.
Tony, what have you done? Guess
Rhythm
what?
got a man.
Four is always bigger than three. WrestleMania. What have you done? Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I think I smell an Emmy. I think I smell a Grammy.
I spell it on the road to an EGOT.
You know it.
Looks like a Grammy.
You know it. I think there's. You know what? There's money. I smell money. Tribal Chief has wrote another classic. We respect you, my man. All right. So, folks, Ladarius, tell the good people where to find you and how to locate you.
You can find me on the social at Twitter and TikTok at Ladarius_Brown. You can find me on Instagram, Ladarius_Brown. A writer and editor for at Beyond Women's Sports. I put out an article this evening recapping the women's matches on both WrestleMania's Night 1 and 2, and as well NXT Stand and Deliver. Check that out if you guys have a chance. I wrote a softball article as well. You can check that out. I had a couple articles, those two articles out this week. And just a shout out to you guys in the chat. Much appreciated for bringing it. Always appreciate it. You guys are an integral part of the show. And, you guys absolutely are just awesome. And shout out to CDouble. Thank you for him allowing me to be on this platform to share with him. Talk about wrestling. It means a lot. And you guys will just be awesome and just continue to be awesome and continue with the support. And we'll be here.
Yeah. So look forward to doing a WrestleMania review somehow, and we'll come up with it. We'll let y'all know. And fighting a yawn. So yeah, just definitely make sure keep on the socials. We'll post it as we go on. But thank y'all so much, and thank Ladarius for being a part of this. Without him, man, I've been doing it by myself, and it'd be real awkward. So glad to have some fun and have someone that loves wrestling and kind of vibe with the kind of mindset I get sometimes. So it's fun. So it's been an awesome year. This is going to be the second WrestleMania we'll actually be able to watch and actually be able to go, hey, man, what you thought? you know, I'm so glad because I have a buddy who was with me when we first started watching. It was the Battle of the Billionaires WrestleMania, I think 23 that was, where Trump and Vince had Lashley and Umaga going at it. And the funny part was I was cheering for Umaga. Yeah, what we know now. But the weirdest tackle I ever saw in my life. but yeah, I think that's it. I hope y'all enjoy. Check us out on channel CDouble 28. Check me out on CDouble AWTN on X, and find us on Facebook. I'm on. You can type in CDouble and you'll find me. And find Ladarius Brown, and you know where we are. Enjoy. Please read his articles. Got some great stuff, especially with these women's matches. He covers women's sports very well. You know, honestly, it was his stuff that I was listening and also reading about with the whole and the NCAA, and I felt more prepared to actually watch it and actually have an idea of what's going on. So, but big ups to you, man. I appreciate you for that, and you do an amazing job, and you're a really great friend, and I appreciate you. So, for that, me and Ladarius is going to be hanging and banging, and we'll holler at y'all later.
Oh boy, he snuck that in. He snuck it in.
Peace out.
Snuck it in. I hate it. Peace out.